Should I? Yeah, you put out my credit card. All right.
Then I mute myself. All right, what's up, everybody? Welcome to episode number 43 of the Rollerblading is Still Fun podcast. I am Josh Navarfar, and with me we got Jose Arce. Jose, what's up?
Yo, what's good, everybody?
And Brady is running a little bit late, but he's going to be here shortly, and we'll say what's up to him. But we also got John Sullivan.
Yo, ain't no tiptoeing around it. It is your boy.
All right, and we have a wonderful guest with us. A couple wonderful guests. We have Law. Law, I should have asked you how you pronounce your last name because I don't want to say it wrong. Can you pronounce it for me?
Yeah, it's Ingram, like a graham cracker. Hey,
Ingram,
everybody.
that's exactly what I thought. We got Law Ingram. What's up, Law? How's it going?
It's good, man. Nice cold day out here in North Carolina.
Oh yeah, we're expecting some cold weather this week, and we're not looking forward to it. Whenever it gets icy here in Dallas, because we're not really used to it, the city just shuts down. Like, it's ridiculous. Nobody goes anywhere. Obviously the school's shut down, but it's complete mayhem. But we're looking at a winter storm coming through this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so before we get started, we want to talk about Feet and Four Wheels. So Feet and Four Wheels is a clothing company, rollerblader owned, and they have awesome t-shirts, awesome hoodies. Be sure to check them out at feetandfourwheels.com, and be sure to use promo code RBISF in order to get 15% off. I believe, Sean, if you're in the chat, if you can confirm that's still live. You haven't told me it wasn't, so I'm going to go ahead and offer it. So if it's not live, you better turn it back on. But check them out at feetandfourwheels.com, and they have this donation shirt and hoodie for the Big Chill Skate Comp. And be sure to purchase that to support their competition. And we're actually going to be getting into that here in a little bit. Also, if you want to go to blading camp in Malaga, Spain, be sure to check out bladingcamp.com. It is a blade camp, and they have pros come and teach you how to skate and hang out with you. It's all inclusive. They provide you with food, transportation, everything you need. All you got to do is get there, and you can use promo code RBISF for 50 euros off. So if you're interested in checking that out, just go to bladingcamp.com. All right, so we have Law here to talk with us, which is awesome, but we do also have another special guest. We got Mike Deezy and his crew to tell us all about the Big Chill Blade Comp that's coming up this weekend in Chicago. What's up, dudes? Hold on. I had to unmute y'all because y'all were, I could hear a bunch of noise. Okay, there we go. What's up, guys?
What up, man? Hey, what up?
Y'all want to just introduce yourselves first?
Yeah, sure. Paul.
Okay, I'm Paul Kleckner.
Terry Pierce.
I'm Mike Deezy.
All right, and tell us all about the Big Chill Blade Comp that's coming up. It's this Saturday, right?
Yep.
Yeah,
Okay,
coming up
sick.
fast.
If you want to start with, where it's going to be, give us time and date, all that good stuff.
Okay, so it's going to be at Asylum Skate Park in Round Lake Beach. I'm pretty sure you can go to their website at asylumskatepark.com. Is that right, Terry?
Yeah.
Directions and the location would be on that website. I'm pretty sure we put it on our flyer too, which is the Big Chill Comp on Instagram. So
You can register at the asylum.
you can register.
So you can register online at the skate park's website too.
Yes, you can. You can do that right now, actually, if you want to sign up.
What are we talking about as far as registration fees?
$20, just a 20 bone.
Mm-hmm.
And then
Nothing crazy.
what's the purse looking like? What can people walk away with?
Man, it's looking pretty decent. I'd say over 2K.
Hey.
Damn.
Yeah.
Damn, that's what's
So
up.
on the flyer we advertised 800 for first.
Yeah, we advertised 1,500 at first, and things have been going so well with donations and everyone helping that it's going to go up a little bit more.
Yeah.
So we might throw in some extra things like a bowl jam, or who traveled the furthest and did the craziest trick. We're gonna have some cool things to toss out here and there besides the cash money that people are gonna win.
Yeah. We want to make it memorable for everyone, so we're gonna have some little extra goodies, some like unique ideas we've been floating around, and kind of see what comes from that.
Yep.
Plenty of product to toss.
Oh yeah, plenty of products to toss. We got a boot. What is it? The Michael Witzman USDs. I got just a boot to throw out. So, and then we got a lot of stuff: wheels, anti-rockers, stickers, a bunch of stuff.
Y'all are gonna throw a boot out into the crowd?
Well, whoever it's like a 7.5, 8 boot. So whoever can fit that, you know.
Hope
And
they catch it.
what's the drive behind the contest? Like, was it just
It
something
was
that you guys
just
talked about?
to get everyone together, you know, just to get the community together. It wasn't even necessarily just for the skating, which obviously is a bonus, but just having everyone come together that you don't really see too much of, you know. So that was another goal. So
Isn't that such like a cool part? Like it's like a good way to get everybody together. Is just sometimes you just gotta have a contest or like a cool barbecue like J Ball does, or like just these cool things to get everybody together, get the homies together. It's
Yeah.
like three, maybe twice a year, 3 times a year, you get to see like really everybody. So it's nice to have those types of things.
And you had talked about
definitely do.
well, you had talked about maybe throwing in a bowl, a bowl comp. So what is the format? Like it's a park. Is it like you do runs, or is it going to be like a jam session? What are the different events that are going to be going on during the comp?
Read that off.
So it kind of depends on the turnout. But what we have planned right now would be smaller groups broken up. They each have a jam session. Towards the end of their jam session, we would maybe call out the skaters' names, and they'd get a couple tries at a final trick or a final line.
Mm-hmm.
Then the top maybe 2 or 3 from each group would move on to semifinals. And then we would do the same thing in the semifinals, except maybe only the top 2 people from each group, and then the finals.
Yeah.
Oh, are we looking at prize money for like top 3?
Top 3 at best trick, and then like what I was saying, we were thinking of throwing out some extra prize money, even just like, I can see you're trying that trick, if you can land it, I'll throw you $20, something like that. Even like we're floating out a lot of different ideas just for ways to make memories and get people, hyped up and excited.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
dope.
definitely.
And maybe have some side bets going on. I don't know if y'all watched the last stream with Biz,
Yeah, I had
but
it.
they were talking about
Hey,
side
your
bets
boy
at
gonna
comps.
throw a 50 for a nice shifty, you know what I'm saying? Like I might slide off a 20 for something real nice and
Yeah, see, John, you need to be the MC, dog. Shit.
He's gonna land that $50 shifty. I like that.
Yeah, that is a good one.
Do y'all have any plans? Is anybody going to be live streaming the comp? Is there anywhere we can watch it live, or we'll just have to wait for it to pop up on people's Instagram that we follow? Do y'all have any plan for a live stream?
Spook Wackadoo is gonna be there, and he's gonna be live streaming.
Nice.
Yeah.
Sick.
So y'all
That's
can
what's
tune into him. That's my boy. He shows us mad love, so I gotta show him mad love back.
Yeah, Spook's tight. Let's go.
Yeah, Spook's sick.
Yeah,
Spook
that's
was
my
one
dog.
of the first rollerblading live streams that I started watching recently, and kind of before we started doing our live stream, I was watching his, and I was like, I want to do a live stream, and we started doing our
Yeah.
thing.
I fuck with your guys' live stream, man. I think we need like maybe 1 or 2 more before it gets oversaturated, but I think maybe a couple more we could definitely benefit from. I'd like to see like a European podcast, that'd be cool.
Yeah, they have Tomo Skates. I don't know his name, but
he's got one?
yeah, he does a podcast and he talks to some European people. He had Bobby Spazoff on it. He had
Cool.
Nicole Machado.
Yeah.
But yeah, he does. I don't watch it often because it's not in English most of the time. But it's cool. It is cool that
Well,
he's
they put them
doing it.
subtitles and we're good,
Yeah.
So-
Speaking of live streams, Law, I was gonna tell you, since you're a live streamer also, we got Spook Wackadoo. We gotta coordinate, we gotta make sure we're not going live at the same time, you know what I mean? That way we don't split up the audience, we can make sure everybody can tune in. We gotta
feel
coordinate
you.
with each other.
I feel you. I call out the 9 p.m. Eastern as my kids go to bed, and that's the best time for me to get there. But if we want to find a good day for it, I'm absolutely fine. We don't cross the streams.
We just do it. We do it Wednesdays, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time is how we've done it for the past year. So if you can try not to overlap too much, because I want to be able to watch your stream. I don't want to be streaming while you're streaming. I want to get in the chat and talk my mess and stuff like that, and then have you be able to get in our chat and hang out.
I love it. Yeah.
But yeah, that would
More
be sick.
togetherness blading.
Yeah, definitely. Dude, if we could get like a live stream, have one content creator doing a live stream like every day of the week, that way there's always content to watch in the evening, that'd be sick. We got to get a couple more people, get them motivated. If you want to start a live stream, hit me up. I'll help you get it set up. I only charge $100 an hour. Nah, I'm just kidding. Nah, I'll help you out. But
the frustrations, all the hands on your face. You gonna charge somebody $100? You tripping?
It's
you
hard.
sure
Once
they-
you get it down, though, it's okay. But Mike Deezy, I was gonna ask y'all. So, are there some skaters that are known to be showing up? Like, who can we expect to see at the comp? Any names?
Right now, I'm pretty sure Luke Naylor's coming. Cody Refner, the Frenches,
Brothers, yeah.
a bunch of Chicago cats, Cedric, Michael Fromlin, Rory, who else? David Walsh from Minnesota, the Resurgent Skate Shop boys, like all of them, I'm pretty sure. So that's obviously Michael French and Derek and them.
You guys talked to Gabe? Wasn't he from Chicago or somewhere in Illinois?
Gabe is from he is from Chicago, but he just was out here recently, so he's actually back in New York. So
Yeah, it's a shame.
Yeah, that
but
probably would have been an automatic.
He's gonna be a judge. Egan Nab is a judge as well. So
Oh, for some reason, y'all's audio stopped coming through cleanly. We can still hear you, but it's just a little choppy. But we got all the names.
I don't know what's going on with my shit.
It's all good. It happens. No problem. Are y'all at the skate park right now?
No.
Oh, okay. I just see up on the roof. It looks like wood and stuff like that. Y'all in somebody's wood shop?
Because people got basements out there.
Oh yeah. We don't have basements
We
in
live
Texas.
so we don't got basements, all right?
We got attics, and
We
they're
got,
not.
like garages and basements. And stuff.
Yeah. That's dope about the Northeast and Midwest, at least Upper Midwest. Sean Michelson tried to say Texas is Midwest. I don't think so.
We had a basement for the whole bottom of our house in Georgia. Like we were playing like just straight like because I didn't skate then. But we were still playing like hockey, and we were able to go like in our pretty much our basement. It was the length of our house, the width of our house, super tight.
Yeah,
Kinda like
basements are
the-
dope, especially if it's furnished or functional.
It was functional, some spiders, but come on, man.
Hey, can I try reloading back in on this bitch or what?
Yeah. Jump out, and jump back in, and we'll see what happens.
It's a normal thing. Trust us.
Yeah, it happens. Slight technical difficulties. If you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe and be sure to like this video. It's a free and easy way to support us. If you do want to leave a super chat, every $5 super chat or over does get displayed on the screen. So if you got something you want to say and you want everybody to read it, just do a $5 super chat. Oh, okay. While they're gone, we'll talk about the raffle also because the super chats remind me of that. So we do have a raffle, and thank you to Hawke Trackler for sponsoring the raffle. So what Hawke's going to be offering up during this podcast or for the next stream whenever you enter.
Brains.
Yeah, it's going to be one of his Two Brains art book. So he is Hawke Trackler. He's a videographer, but he's also a street artist. So he's made a art book called Two Brains, and he's gracious enough to give one away to one of our viewers. He does want it to be somebody who specifically wants the book. So he did ask me just to mention, like, leave a comment. Let us know what you think. Let us know what you love. Let us know what you hate. Every comment will get you another entry in the raffle. But put the word book somewhere in the comment. Or just comment book, because he wants to make sure that it goes to somebody who really wants it, who will enjoy it, who will appreciate it. So just leave book in your comment, but still say something. Don't just comment book.
Shut down the chat and just send me the book, please. I'm putting like 50 comments in the comment.
John is a
I
good
want the book.
collector.
Tell John, Aaron, I'll count an Aaron comment in the raffle, but we're not counting any of your comments. I actually have
JS is getting the book. Sorry about you. Coming home.
Don't drop your mans.
I have Hawke's other art book that he made. I bought one from him, the Put Out Project, and they're high quality books. They're great for the coffee table. Full pictures, very nice color. It's I wish he would have autographed it. He didn't sign it, but it's okay.
I'm
But
gonna steal it when I come there next.
oh no! But they're awesome. Just leave a comment, and also every $5 super chat will get you an extra entry in the raffle. Also, since we're having a raffle, we'll bring back comment of the week. So whoever leaves the comment of the week on the comments section will get an additional entry as well. All right, looks like we got Mike Deezy back. Let me put his book up. We'll bring him back up and finish up talking about the comp.
Yeah, I think
my phone was like overheating and shit. It was crazy.
we had some technical difficulty, but I think we got it.
Yeah, we're good now.
Yeah, y'all sound great now. Okay, here we go. Okay, so we talked about the people coming, you know, the location, the format. It's going to be a great time. Is there going to be any type of after event or anything to do after the comp?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, we got a after event at Black Lung Brewery. It's in downtown Grays Lake. It'll be from 6 till I think 11, and we'll have beer, food, movies to play. We're premiering I think like 3 or 4 videos, things that have really never been seen. A couple of old relics like from 2000. So it's gonna be an awesome time. So
Man, sounds like a fun time.
yeah.
Yeah, it's a big space. It's like a micro brew.
Yeah.
They got a nice food menu and everything, so I think there'll be something for everyone there.
Yep.
Sick.
That's
Sick.
what's up. Thank you, Tyler Davis, for the
Yeah,
super chat. He
well-
said, "Don't put me in the Hawke raffle." He's already got one. Well, that's what's up. Well, let us know in the comments how much you enjoy it, how good it is, because you know it's good. Oh, I didn't switch to me, but yeah. So that's the Big Chill Blade Comp in. Say the city again one more time. Exactly the location and time and date.
It's in Round Lake on Saturday the 24th. So
At the Asylum Skate Park.
yeah, Asylum Skate Park. Yep.
Awesome. Well, everybody, be sure to check that out. Is there anything else, Mike Deezy, you want the viewers to know, or John Law, Jose? Do you have any more questions about the comp?
No, just try to make it next year if you guys have one.
Look, Jose, you can lay out
Yeah.
on the couch since Brady's not here. You can get real comfortable.
No, this is fine. I just needed to stretch my leg out.
You can put your feet up on my coffee table. I don't care.
Okay.
It's like Rick James.
I danced on his couch. So dog stepped on his dog.
Fuck
Dookie.
your couch.
Just step all over his couch. Get a little shake all over his couch. The
That's funny.
biscuits everywhere.
Yeah, and my bad, everybody. I'm thinking I'm boss dog right now, but this shit was hurting sitting down normal.
Here, I can pull the couch cushion.
No. You're good. You're good. This
Okay.
this is good. I needed to stretch this leg out. It's my sciatica acting up.
All right, awesome.
Yeah,
Well,
I appreciate you having us on the show,
Yeah,
bro.
thanks for having us.
Thanks a lot. I appreciate it.
yeah, dude, thank y'all for putting this comp together. We need more comps. Like John said and y'all said, it's a great way for the community to get together in person and hang out with each other, have some good skating, get some good Instagram clips. Oh, is anybody going to be filming an edit of it to put out on YouTube?
Oh, I'm sure.
I'm sure
there will be.
we got a couple people filming
Yeah.
it.
That was something I was thinking about when we were talking about it earlier for the community. Like, aside from the skating and everything, putting together this competition gave us something to do, gave us a reason to have meetings, to go to the skate park, to talk about it, and to come more together as a community, and like raise money for it, contact all the sponsors and everything. So it's helping create community here,
Right.
and also just have an event in the winter when there isn't something that is filling a space.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's what we need more of. We need more community, and rollerblading already has such an awesome community. Everybody that I've talked to on the podcast, that I've met in real life, just awesome people. They're up to great things, and it's only going to grow from here. And yeah, dude, thank y'all so much for coming on. And I'm gonna keep y'all. Y'all can stay on the stream if y'all want. I'm just gonna mute y'all while we talk. If y'all gotta
Okay.
hop off.
Yeah, we'll watch. Fuck it.
Or y'all can
For sure.
get off and watch the stream on YouTube like everybody else. But okay, yeah, that was say y'all's names again. That was Mike Deezy, and I'm sorry, I forget the other two guys.
Here's and Paul Kleckner.
Awesome, very cool to meet y'all. And if y'all ever come down to Dallas, just hit me up. Me, Jose,
Yeah,
Brady,
thanks for coming
John. We go skating every weekend, and if we have people in town, we might skate during the weekday.
Yeah. Yeah, just follow us on Instagram. I'm DZ Visuals. He's the Later Blader, and he's on to Midwest. So,
For sure.
Awesome.
my boys.
I hope I follow y'all. If not, I'm all the way slipping. So don't worry about that. I will start following. But man, I hope y'all guys have just an amazing time with the comp. I hope everything goes successful. Everybody has a blast. Y'all have a blast. Y'all have it next year. Y'all see the good outcome from it, and just positive roll. Keep going.
Thank you, community, for all of your guys' help and support.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. For real, that's what it's about.
More comps, the better.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well,
Gotta
thank
stick
y'all.
together.
Yeah, of course. Thank y'all so much for taking the time and, you know, giving the viewers all the information. If you're somebody else who's throwing a comp and you want to come on and talk about it, just hit me up at Rollerblading is Still Fun on Instagram. I would love to bring you on so you can promote your comp. If you want to sponsor a raffle, just hit me up and we'll talk about your product and offer up something to the viewers. That's another way to support. Again, just be sure to like the video and subscribe if you're new. Okay, let me get around there right there. Okay, all right.
Sweater zone, it's the big chill.
Oh, sorry.
Sweater zone, it's the big chill. Let's go.
We got the
Let's
big
go.
chill coming.
Man.
Oh, we
Go.
sure do.
Woo. Big chill.
Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and get Law on so we can talk to him. He's been rollerblading.
Are you refusing to say Lawrence?
You can
No.
say whatever you want.
You sure? You sure?
whatever-
'Cause I feel like I want to say Lawrence because it's like it's just like Lawrence flows like Lawrence. Like when you get to say Lawrence, he's saying law. Like you say law all the time. Oh, there goes the law. Here goes the, you know. It's
very
like
true.
say
Very true.
Lawrence. Like let it flow.
Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and bring Lawrence on. And
you.
I talked to him
I just
beforehand,
like
John.
it.
John, I talked to him beforehand. I was like, "Is Law cool? Is Lawrence cool?" He's like, "Whatever you
No,
want."
I know that. But
So-
come on now.
It's all cool. It's all cool.
I
All right.
know it is.
Well, Lawrence, thank you so much for joining
Yeah.
our stream. How are you doing tonight?
Absolutely, it's great to be here. I'm having a great evening. Thanks for inviting me.
Of course, dude. And you're another live streamer and, you know, a beacon in the community and have been, you know, in rollerblading for a long time. Oh, we got another super chat. Tyler Davis. Here's an entry for Sean for the book. Book's real good. Okay, awesome. Thank you so much, Tyler. I appreciate it. I'll put that
Hooking it up tonight.
I'll put that as an he's making it rain. I'll put that as an extra entry
know.
for Sean. But Law, I guess if you just want to start with a just a short introduction into how you got into rollerblading, how you got involved, you know, just to kick it off, so in case people don't know, they can find out.
Yeah, man. So I have probably the same origin story as everyone. I was a roller hockey guy, grew up playing ice hockey, roller hockey, transitioned to rollerblading, saw what you could do on skates and started doing it. I was in a weird time. So this was like 93, 94 when I started skating. And I was in Northern California. So grew up with Jason Marshall and John Julio
Yeah.
and like the whole San Jose crew. Went to school in San Jose. So I was growing up in Alameda and then moved to San Jose where I was working with Ted Simpson at 50/50, doing some graphic design when they started up the company. And then moved down to Southern California to start the frame project for 50/50 Frames, and did UFS frames and became an ASA judge and skated as much as I could and started a magazine called Sequence Mag, which is like the
Yeah.
first online place for people to hang out and talk about rollerblading. And then, I kind of took a hiatus for a while. So my dad got really sick and I had to kind of take a step back from rollerblading and from life and deal with family, you know, first always. And kept playing ice hockey. Came back to rollerblading about 7 years ago, I think, 2017, I think, trying to cross train for ice hockey. And I walked into my local, which again, I don't know how I got so fortunate to be placed in the right location at the right time. You know, I grew up in the Bay Area, was living in Southern California during the boom, and then coming back to rollerblading, my local skate shop is Oak City. So like of all the places in the world, I've got this amazing, you know, along with the Oak City skate shop right around the corner. So I go over and I'm talking with him and he's got products that I was working on with 50/50. He's got frames, frames, grind plates, backpacks, like you name it, in like display cases, saying this is like crazy, like good old products that, you know, is like highly cherished. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like, I can't imagine stuff that I was working on in my 20s is still like wanted 20 years later, right? And it was
Does he have these items like on display, like kind of a little rollerblading museum he's got going on in there?
Yeah. So this was a few shops before where he is now. It was actually, funny enough, it was 2 blocks down from the ice hockey rink that I played at for like 5 years. So if I made a left turn, I would have gone to Oak City. I made a right turn and I went into the ice hockey rink.
Oh,
but
nice.
they were on display. They were like in spotlights and everything. And I'm like, you know that that dolly shot in movies where like everything kind of becomes clear, where like the background kind of zooms out and your face is like all expanded and everything. That was me.
Yeah.
I'm like, holy shit. Like I walked out and I called my wife on the way home. I'm like, you aren't going to believe this. Like the things that I did when I was 22, people like him. You know what I mean? Because I mean, why would I know, right? I mean, blading is such a small community,
Yeah.
especially in 2017. Like there was very little conversation. I was still friends with John and like Cameron on Facebook and stuff, but we didn't talk blading. We talked like family. You know, Cameron was having kids and John was having kids, and it's like that was a different part of my life. And going back into rollerblading, it was like, holy shit, like this is still a thing. And I got really emotional and I was like, well, I've got boxes of stuff in my closet that Long would absolutely love. So I came back the next day or the next weekend and I gave him these boxes. I'm saying, hey, I didn't introduce myself, but you know, my name is Lawrence. I was an owner of 50/50. I designed half of the things that are in your display case. You should have these. Like these are prototypes that we never used,
Oh,
or
that's sick.
stuff that yeah, people wanted. Like I gave him a box of Daily Breads, like
Oh,
every
nice.
issue up until like 2003 or whatever. And he was like, this is like wild. And I'm like, I don't care what you do with them. You could sell them, you can donate them, you could put them on the wall, but you should have them because they're just collecting dust in, my closet. We got to talking a little bit and then I got back into blading and I started the Back to Blading YouTube channel. And that was probably 2017, I think. And that was really just me trying to document my comeback to rollerblading. So with ice hockey, I always found that if I was filming myself during a game, like I'd put a GoPro on the glass, like with a suction cup, and I would watch. Well, I would get a breakaway and I'd like rush a shot. And I'm like, oh, well, if I took a little bit longer, I had a lot more time. I could have gotten closer to the goalie, or there's plenty of room on the right. I didn't even look to the right. Like you analyze what you do. I wanted to do the same with my skating. So I went out there with, that in mind, saying, I'm going to go and do aggressive again. So I went to my local skate park and made my first YouTube video, which was like 2017, I guess, and was hooked. And ever since then, for the 6 years after that, I skated every week. I made a video every weekend. I did the Gear Talk live streams every other Wednesday at 9 p.m. Eastern, live on YouTube. And then we did a podcast every 2 weeks with my friend Ben Vanderhagen, which was at the time, there weren't a lot of podcasts. So it was like, what could I do to contribute to the industry? Like the industry gave me so much. It gave me my career. It was the reason why I was able to get through those dark times with my dad. And it's like, now it's time to give back. So now I'm on the other end of it and talking with you guys. And yeah, it's 2026. And yeah, man, couldn't be happier.
That's what's up. And, you talked about kind of all the things that I wanted to get into with you, but just learn a little bit more of the details behind some of the projects that you were involved in. I do want to say we got Brady Johnston in the house. So welcome, Brady. Glad you could make it.
What's going on, everybody? Hey, Law, what's going on?
What's up, Brady?
Hey, it's a Brady. It's a Brady. Hey, it's a Brady.
So the first thing I wanted to get a little bit more details in is just your involvement in 50/50 frames. Like 50/50 frames they were my favorite frames growing up. They were the first UFS frames I ever had. I had the Fabiolas. They were like the light blue ones with the Brazilian flag on them. And I think I had them on some TRSs. And if you could tell us a little bit about how you got involved in 50/50 and your contribution.
Yeah, absolutely. So 50/50 is near and dear to my heart. We are probably in like the 5th era of 50/50. I was thinking about this, how to best explain each of because 50/50 has been around since 2000 or 1995. Like it's one of the original aggressive companies. So there were like 4 eras of 50/50. The original era, they started with Ted Simpson and Jess Deerenforth. So
Wait,
Jess,
can I ask you something just about the very beginning? Where if 50/50 is a skateboard trick, where did they come up with the name 50/50 for a rollerblading frame company or however it started?
Yeah, well, both of them
Good question.
were skateboarders as well. I mean, everybody kind of skateboarded at the same time as rollerblading, but then they gravitated towards rollerblading. So they were aware of skateboard tricks. They developed a product. So back in those days, it was the TRS, not the TRS you were on, but the original purple and black with the neon green wheels, those
Mhm.
TRS. And the frames were absolute horseshit. So they made these box style grind plates that were like an H, almost kind of created an H block, but there was no groove. So it would just kind of slot in between
And they
wheels
were
2 and
metal,
3.
right?
Fully metal with no groove,
Yeah, it was like a
completely
weird,
flat.
like I
It
know
was
exactly what you were
horrible.
talking
Yeah,
about. They
it
went
was
up and around and
the
like
worst design. Yeah.
terrible.
Yeah. Well, so Ted Simpson had a company that made those. So he started a company, I think it was called X Grind or something like that, before the X Grind was a trick, funny enough. I think it was called X Grind. And he was a machinist. So he designed things. He worked at a machine shop where they made metal parts. And he worked with Jess through Daily Bread. So Daily Bread was obviously the Bible. Jess was one of the producers of Daily Bread, main photographer of Daily Bread, like did, Angie and he were like, you know, Bonnie and Clyde.
Definitely.
They just did everything there.
Sure.
And through that, I think Jess and Ted got together and said, hey, let's make an actual company that makes grind plates. They knew early on that the box style grind plate was a shitty design because they were slipping off of groove tricks if you were skating little wheels, right? So back in those days, the split was so small and they were riding like 60, 70 millimeter wheels, like 72 millimeter wheels.
Yeah.
Those box grind plates were good for that. But as soon as you go anti-rocker, what do? Right? Like first there weren't anti-rocker wheels, but second, if you got a skateboard wheel or whatever and cut it down, you shove it in there, you're not going to have any groove because these metal grind plates are like a box. There's no groove. So they developed a grind plate that was half metal and half plastic, which is where the 50/50 name comes from. So the outside was
Okay.
plastic, the inside was metal, and you would put those on the inside, of each of your edges. So you wouldn't grind directly on metal. You would grind on plastic and then slowly reach the metal because there was a theory back then that metal grind plates would be better on coping, better on rails, things like that. Turns out, plastic's probably better for everything.
Oh, I used to love though,
But
like I had some Civic
Yo,
grind plates that were
yeah.
aluminum. The sound on coping,
Yeah.
sounds
Yeah,
amazing.
the
I would just do
microphones,
backsides
Oh,
on half pipes all day just for the noise
I
and the
don't
flick.
disagree. I don't disagree, but I think plastic, you would agree, is better for
Yeah.
Yeah,
Definitely for
most
street skating.
situations. Or if you find an aluminum handrail, those metal plates are just going to dig right in. You're just kind of fucked. You can't really
Oh
skate.
yeah.
Yeah, and it's crazy that people are skating metal frames now, which blows my mind. And they seem
Yeah.
like they wouldn't be any good, but they are. Real quick, Jeff Metz, shout out for the super chat. I do appreciate it. But yeah, metal frames, like,
Yep.
are you kidding me?
I think it's a different use case. Remember, a lot of the stuff that we take for granted now. I have all these conversations with guys we have a back to blading Slack where we just talk shit all day, basically. And
We
a
love
lot
that.
of it's the way that you get through the day, right? A lot of skaters are just coming back and they don't realize that there was a time before UFS. And it's like, yeah, man, we lived through it. There were years
Yeah.
before UFS. Metal grind plates were the solution. So 50/50 kind of took over the grind plate market. CDS Detroit was doing their thing, but 50/50 was like up and running,
For
right?
sure.
When they switched over from the plastic metal grind plate to a plastic grind plate, that's when I got involved. So they signed an OEM deal with K2 to do the Fatty Pro, that first Fatty
Dude,
Pro.
this is my
You remember that?
question. Why are you ruining my question right now? That was my question because it was like the
Let me drink some
green
water.
50/50 that came on the Fatty
Indeed.
Pro on the Red State, and that was like in all of our like Oshman's, like all of
Yep.
our sporting good was that Fatty Pro with
Absolutely.
that 50/50, that green like kind of speckled.
Yep, it was a recycled green. It
go.
was for Tom Heiser, so it was his pro model grind plate. Tom,
course.
as I don't know if you guys have had Tom on yet, but he's a great interview. Definitely get him on. He was, the designer over at K2 and rode for 50/50, knew Jess really well, was actually living in Northern California at the time. So I got to know Tom pretty well. And he worked the deal so that we could get his grind plates on the K2 Fatty, the Fatty Pro. And that blew Fitty Fitty up. That was by far the first, like in this first era of Fitty 50, that was the catalyst that brought the company to the next level. And that's when I started working with Fitty 50. So I was aware of Fitty 50 through Ted. He didn't do this full time, worked at a skate shop called Inline Sports, which was, there were like 5 locations in the Bay Area in Northern California. And I met him at the San Jose one because I was living in San Jose, going to San Jose State. So we got to know each other. That's when I started Sequence, which was the online magazine. And Ted and I worked together in that. And he was like, you do really good graphic design. Would you want to develop the packaging for our grind plates? Because there was a line of grind plates coming. It wasn't just, here's a white grind plate and then here's a metal grind plate, right? It was everything under the sun. So there
And here,
was
let me say something real quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
Guys, if y'all do have a question, we know Lawrence can talk. He does a 2-hour stream all by himself. So we don't want to interrupt you, but I'm going to give him permission to. If they do have a question, is that okay, Lawrence? If they want to jump in real quick and ask something, just so we don't move past something and forget. So if y'all do have a question, just jump in and, you know, I'm sure we can pick back up. I just want to throw that in there.
I
can just take this too.
I got a question.
Double Dutch.
Wasn't Tom Heiser the one who made physics?
Yeah.
He is.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just skating when that frame was around.
Yeah. Tom was and still is brilliant with skate design. He did a ton of the work at the with the rollerblade. I think it was called the Tribe at the time, but the Solo that turned into the blank. Obviously K2 Fatty Pro and all of that, all of the art, face wheels, all that. He's amazing dude. But yes,
they used to come with the little art up under in
Yeah.
the frame too, up under the sole frame. But it was just like these little soft, like cushion little graphics. Like, man, I just love the detail about stuff in the past, like 96 through about 99. They really focused on detail of cool presentation on stuff. Like, I cherish those moments in skating a bunch.
I think there was a lot of untested ideas back then. So it was really the wild, wild west. I mean,
Yeah, it
if
was
you
all
look
brand
at-
new. It was all
For
just
sure.
starting. Sean did
There was-
ask.
That's why I loved
You said
nobody knew what to do.
You had gotten involved in the package design. Did you come up with the idea to have them in the tubes?
No, they were in the tubes already. But I was designing the labels for the tubes.
Gotcha.
And there were like 7 different colors and brand and models back then.
Yeah.
So I did that. And the website. So those were the 2 jobs that I had. And then after that, they were like, hey, we can't keep up. Like I remember going to, it was all run out of Ted's house. So it was in Mountain View to start with, and then it was in San Jose after that. And I remember going to his house, and it was just a room like yours with a bunch of guys hanging out on a couch, packaging grind plates.
There they are.
And it was just boxes and boxes of grind plates. And it's just like
That's
tube,
so
tube, putting stickers on. That's how it was. And there was obviously a bong hanging out and like all that, but it was a very different time.
That's so sick.
Little different out here in North Carolina, but yeah, it was it was the Wild West, and they had so much money coming in. I mean, they didn't know what to do with it, so it was like, well, we don't want money, we want to make skate stuff. So it's like, what could we do next? And that's when I think the frame project started. So that's kind of like the second era of Fitty Fitty. Grind plates were still a thing, but we realized early on, I can't say we, it was Jess and Ted that came up with the idea of the replacement frames, but they were like, we should be replacing the entire frame. And that's when they started that project. It was like 97, I think. And Ted, probably with a lot of input from Jess, but I was working with Ted at the time. He did the drawings for the original frame. And because of his connection with the machine shop, he was able to get these frames machined. The guys we were talking with earlier from Chicago, talking about 3D printing, they did machining out of a solid block of UHMW to make these first frames.
Oh, wow.
And that was like so super expensive, hundreds of dollars.
So real
per
quick,
frame.
they went from grind plates to frames. Did they ever think about actually creating a boot? Like, well, that seems like the next natural evolution. Was that ever talked about or thought about?
I don't think that ever happened, but that's where standard came from
That's the
because
60.
my passion of making frames led to, well, what else could we do? I made wheels, and then it's like, well, the last barrier is I gotta make the whole boot. So
Yeah, and I want to get into standard.
yeah.
But well, I don't want to stop you if you have any more knowledge
There's
on
plenty
50/50.
of stories. You tell me. You
Well-
tell me where to go, or if you got any questions.
I have a question. You kind of jumped right into where my
Absolutely.
question was going to be. Was so
yeah.
what did you base your first frame like? Because when little bit of research I did, the first frames I
Yeah.
see are on the Rosies,
Yep.
which has like the bubble 50/50 logo, which I had completely
Yeah.
forgotten about.
yeah.
So what skate? I guess it was Jess's skate, maybe. What skates were y'all basing that on?
Yeah, both Jess and John skated for Rosie's. So we designed the first frames around the Rosie's boot, which is why the frames were higher in the back than in the front. The base plates, the famous juice system, was designed to make a better version of the Rosie's base plates because there really wasn't one. But they used the Rosie's frame as a comp. That's why if you look at those old pre-UFS 50/50 frames, the logo is only in the back because that's the way that the Rosie's frames were. So it was like a logo on each side. It's, I mean, a very impractical design for UFS like era, but back then all of the boots were like that. So that's where that came from.
I got well before in case I forget because we're trying but the earliest UFS, yes, the logos were only on one side.
Yeah.
What I want to jump ahead, but what was about the non-symmetrical setup of having the back of the frame angled in?
Yeah. That was an interesting one. So
on the Louis UFS thrones, they came on, and I was all like, why would the frame?
yes, not symmetrical.
It's because of the throne, right? The way the throne was made.
Well, the concept was, and I remember designing that frame. The concept was what we do now works really well. Remember, everybody skated 50/50 frames back then. And then Solomon said, okay, this frame market that you built, it would be nice if everybody had a play in it. And we were like, that sounds great because we're skaters, we're not businessmen. What could go wrong? So everybody starts making UFS frames. You've got Kaiser, you got Ground Control, you've got Able, at the time 7XL, then Able with Zeequay.
Oh, I forgot about 7XL. I forgot about them.
So we've got all of these competitors now. And we were like, well, how do we differentiate ourselves? Let's stick to what we know. So the first 50/50 UFS frames were a direct transfer of our non-UFS design to a UFS system. So it had the backwards slanted frame. It had the single logo on each side. It had the 6mm axles. It was the same H block, the same groove. Everything was identical because we knew that those frames worked really well.
Okay.
But we owned the market. So how did we know that they worked well compared to everybody else's ideas?
So it's like
that's where it started hurting. Yeah.
So it's like part technical, but also kind of part branding because it was.
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay,
Yep.
that's really. I always wondered if there was just something that you guys knew that eventually people were just like threw their hands up and went symmetrical because of it's easier to switch and all that. But yeah.
Symmetrical is the way to go. Again, if you're a customer buying a frame, you want that frame to last as long as you can. And if you're doing royales with your left foot to boot down, then you're not going to grind the other side. Like doing switch royales is a pretty difficult trick.
Yeah.
So just swap the frames and you get twice the life out of it. So it would look weird if they were flipped and they were,
Well, can I-
yeah.
It'd definitely be Dunlap.
Did you guys think about
That
that
would
when
be
you were?
like a Bofa Dunlap. That'd be like an Affinity Dunlap.
Had y'all considered the idea of like, well, wait, what if we just make it to where we can just swap them? I guess I remember that being like a separate conversation after UFS of like, well, what if we could just swap our frames around?
It was with the initial balance frames that we started doing a symmetrical frame. So the first molds were the UFS molds. They were the ones with the slant. The large frame, there are three sizes. The small was just a cosmetic. It was actually symmetrical. It was just a cosmetic change that we had an insert in the mold to make it like this, so it appeared a little bit shorter, but it still had the same short wheelbase. The medium had the I don't know what it's called, but the heel coming out in the back, and then the large was just a longer wheelbase, but a similar. We made some modifications to the molds for the balance frames, which made 8mm axles possible, and then we ended the weird sizes. We only had 2 sizes of balance frames, and they were all symmetrical, with the logo moved to the middle of the frame where they had the little raised puffy stickers, and then you could just swap them around left and right.
And shout out to those beautiful blue Randy Spicer frames.
Oh yeah,
Those were some of my favorite frames of all time. They had the silver axles as well.
Yeah,
I
those
believe.
were sick.
Just a perfect frame, and the hardware was just it was strong as heck, man. That was some gnarly stuff. The 8mm.
Yeah, we got really lucky with our supplier. They actually got we got that supplier through Powerslide. We were working with Matthias and USD for the frame project with John Julio's skate, and then Josh Petty's skate, and then everybody else who had a fitty frame on their skate, Richard, etc. And we got the connection to that factory through working with Powerslide. And they're actually the factory that I still use to this day for my bearings. We don't use them.
Y'all touch gold with that, dude.
Yeah,
You had
pretty crazy,
so
right?
many pro boots, and they all skated like you had 50-50 riders like bananas, dude. Shima at a
Shima,
time,
yeah.
like,
Oh,
dude.
yeah.
John Elliott.
Yeah, everybody was skating.
Yeah.
I imagine
Yeah.
Richard played a huge
Richard.
part in like just the coolness of being on
Champion,
50-50.
Oh yeah.
Not only
Richard,
just like the juice system, but just like being able to change out. Yeah.
him and Demetrius, they were both Southern California boys as well. So they would come by the shop. Actually, Scott Walker found Richard for us. Scott Walker is the guy that did Big Dan importing. He was part of the Monarchy distribution. So it was us with Fitty Fitty. It was Scott with Big Dan, who did USD, and then they did Second Regime, and they did Pointer shoes. If you remember Pointer shoes,
Yeah, I had a pair of pointers.
Oh yeah.
yeah. I'm sorry for your loss. Yeah, exactly. And then England Clothing. So all like 5 of us were in the same little building. And Richard, would come by and just, hang out. And we got to know him, and we started flowing him, and he was just the coolest guy. And obviously extremely marketable. Like his style of skating, he's he's most pros. I'm sure you all know pros. Most pros are like a size 42, which is like a size 8. They're very short. They have small feet. Richard is like a 11. Like boy is very tall. He's built, and he could jump. Like he brought a different level of like power to rollerblading that we hadn't seen before, and style. Like he, hate to say it, but he just brought that. Like I don't know if I could say swagger as a white 50-year-old man.
We'll give you a pass.
Yeah. But he definitely had that. Like he just looked so natural when he was doing anything.
Yeah.
And that definitely brought Fitty Fitty into that UFS era, without a doubt.
Yeah. Power is a great way to describe Richard skating. For like the person just seeing Richard for the first time, power is definitely it.
Yeah. So
As far as like the pros you had, was 50-50 paying skaters at the time whenever they were, they were booming and they were at the top of the market?
yeah, we had skaters on salary, and we had skaters making a royalty. And that was where I realized early on that I had absolutely no business doing business. Like I came straight out of college. I dropped out of college to do Fitty Fitty, to move down to Southern California and, follow the dream of owning a skate company. Right. And my background was in, business administration in college, but I only got to a couple classes before I left. So I didn't know shit about how to actually run a business, how to do budgeting, how to do accounting, how to do production, things like that. I always considered the debt that we left with Fitty 50 that I assumed after we closed up shop as like my student loans, because I learned so much from dealing with international suppliers to doing customer services. Sean will note, with annoying kids who email you every day asking for stuff. It was a very interesting time for me, getting thrown in the deep end. And one of the casualties, I think, was having to deal with skaters who didn't want to be on the team anymore, having to deal with skaters and say, hey, we can't pay you. Like, I don't have money for my salary. I don't have money to pay you. And that was primarily because we ran the business because we wanted to make cool stuff. We didn't run the business to run a business. And I think a lot of companies back then fell out because of that. We were never focused on profitability. We were always focused on making cool stuff. We'll sell them anyway. Like the whole balance core system with the freestyle frames and the core system that came on Richard's thrones.
Yeah.
I don't think we ever made a dime off of those because we invested
Juice
all of our
box?
money. Yeah, juice box,
Juice
exactly.
box funds.
All of those. I mean, everything was a huge investment, and we were just throwing it on credit cards. Like we didn't know.
And that was a tough time in skating too. Like even
Yeah.
skate shops. Like, I was working at Connections in Houston, Austin,
Mhm.
Loretta, which is Lonnie Guy
Yep.
was the mom.
Yeah.
It was just, it was a tough time. Like
Yeah.
it just went through a really tough time of like nobody buying stuff or
Yep.
something. I know exactly what time you're talking about when you're talking about that. Like
It was like 2002, 2003
Yeah.
when it started really starting to hit. And unfortunately, that's when my dad started getting sick. So he had early onset Alzheimer's. And like I went back for an IMYTA up there. I think the San Jose IMYTA that Rob G won. I went up there for that, and I hung out because my parents were still living in Alameda, and I went and hung out with them. And when like I don't know if you have a cousin or a niece or nephew, and you see them once a year, and you're like, holy shit, you've grown. Well,
Yeah.
my dad, like last time I saw him, he was fine, but I saw him again, and I was like, whoa, like you're not mentally there. And my mom never saw it because it was a slow drip of slight changes. Like it was so abrupt to me. And I was like, this is wrong. So after that IMYTA, I remember driving back from San Jose to Southern California and basically mourning the loss of my dad. Like it was, I don't want to bring shit down, but it was like everything was kind of falling apart. And that's when I made the decision, okay, well, I've got to move back up to San Jose or to Northern California. I got to take care of my mom first and foremost, and then see what we can do about my dad, and try to run as much as I could because I was a huge part of the day-to-day stuff for 50/50. We still were able to get Juice the DVD out, so I did all of the production for Juice. And I remember V did all the editing. V was living in Alameda at the time. You remember all that?
Yeah, he was tight. Like
He was so
that
good.
video was hype. Juice was
Yeah.
that's a classic for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
That's a good time in 50/50 too. Had
It
some
was
good
amazing.
writing,
Yeah.
for sure.
Great team. I mean, they threw their
Definitely.
heart into it. When I got to really get to know Chris Farmer, and we're still good friends to this day. Yeah, it was wild. But that to me kind of ended that era of like the UFS era, like the era where money was just coming free and you had to really work for it to stay in business. And that was probably 2003, 2004, which, is when shops stopped paying you, which is when Solomon started dipping out, which is when like it was really difficult to make ends meet. And that's when the debt got a little too much for us, I think.
Yeah, and there was a reboom in rollerblading, I think kind of during COVID time. And we have a friend, Fritz Peitzner, that has a shop here, Carrier Skate Shop. Shout out! I got their hoodie on, but I guess he's doing good because he can live in. Where does he live?
Cyprus.
Cyprus. He's living in Cyprus,
He
and
took
he's
an absolute gamble because we were all like, "That's a terrible idea." It was that like 2018, and it just happened to be the perfect time. But wait, real quick on Chris Farmer, he never had a frame, right?
So he did, but we never made it. So we had it designed. Yeah, we had it designed, and a week or two after I shared it with him, it was kind of radio silence.
Oh,
and I was like, "That's weird," because Chris, he was super young at the time. He was living with V in Alameda getting clips for Juice, so I saw him all the time. We would drive. I would hang out while they were shooting. I would second angle with them, and he was really quiet with me, and I was like, "That's weird." And then they
while
came
filming.
out with No, this was after the
Okay, gotcha.
after the video was done. So this is
Okay.
like a year afterwards, probably 2004. And then out of nowhere comes the Shadow.
Mhm.
So it was the Mook frame.
Mhm.
And Chris was writing for Shane and Solomon over at Shadow. And I was like, okay, like totally makes sense. Because I think at the time maybe he was on Deshi.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was on
Yeah.
Deshi.
For Juice, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And then he moved frames to the Mook frames, and he was skating with Shane Coburn and Dustin. Which, I mean, put yourself in Chris's shoes. Anybody's
Yeah, why would you not
Yeah.
want to go after Dustin?
No,
Like,
I
dude,
Then
you
he
kidding me?
became the face of Shadow too after that.
yeah, and I get
Oh,
that, but
no
it sounds
doubt.
like you're saying there was no official goodbye.
There was no official frame.
Right.
No
Well,
official frame,
and
official
also-
goodbye. Yeah. It
Yeah.
was again, I hate to say it, but we really did a bad job at the business side of things.
Mhm.
We just didn't know. We were rollerbladers first and foremost. Jess was a photographer. I was a graphic designer. I think you'll find a lot of skate companies come and go. They have like a 2-year shelf life because the business foundation is flawed. And our foundation was extremely flawed. We didn't know what we were doing from a financial perspective. What we should have done is announced something that he was leaving, had some sort of a press thing. Same thing happened with when Shima and John Elliott left to start Ground Control.
Yeah.
And I'll add Rob G, who
Yeah.
was another really good friend of mine, left so that he could start physics with Tom Heiser.
Shout out Rob G too. By the
Oh
way.
yeah, Rob G,
Like,
amazing.
Man, I love Rob G. He's so sick, dude. He
He
is
is.
my dog.
Yeah, I
He's
saw him
so
at Blading Cup. He is still alive and kicking. Still, I mean, we, as I'm sure y'all know, had a bit of a scare a few years back.
Yeah, I heard about that. He was actually just in Dallas a couple weeks ago and hanging out
really?
with us.
It
Yeah,
was like a couple months
Oh,
ago.
that's
Yeah, it was
a couple months
months.
ago. Was it months?
Yeah, he stayed with
Well, it's
us.
November.
It was last
Or
year.
October? November, October. Something like that.
Yeah,
it
it
was
was a couple
Carriers
months.
Comp.
That's great.
Shoot.
Yeah.
Do you think your casual approach to the business kind of led people to think it might be okay to just kind of like walk away and go to do other stuff?
Probably. I mean, to be fair, I didn't even consider it because I had my own family stuff to deal with.
Right.
It wasn't ever top of mind. I know that Jess continued to make stuff for a while and try to cling on. I was like, I'll help you. Like, let me know what I can do. And he would send me logos or send me requests, and I would try to help out as much as I could. But my heart wasn't really in it anymore. And when you know that financially it is a mistake and you're in too deep, and all that you have is that passion, and you start losing that passion, like it's really hard to stay involved. I will say though that back in those days, there wasn't a good way to communicate with people.
No.
I think I might have had a leg up because I had Sequence Mag, and I had an online presence, but this was like MySpace days, dude.
Yeah.
Like
If not AIM.
there was
Yeah,
no,
AIM.
yeah, exactly. AIM. We did all of our interviews for like Sequence and stuff through AIM. Like
Yeah.
that was the way that we communicate.
Mhm.
I don't know that there was a public persona. Like I think maybe Shane did it best when he had the Game Over ad in Daily Bread, but we got to a point where we couldn't even afford our ads. Like we,
Yeah.
just because of his relationship with Daily Bread, was able to trade photography and like do work for Daily Bread in exchange for ad space. But like
wow.
that's how brutal it
Mhm.
was getting. And I'm sure that we weren't alone. It just that's what happens when you build a business off of a dream instead of
Yeah.
proper foundational like financial knowledge.
So was that like the ultimate downfall of 50/50 was kind of, these top riders splitting off to do their own frame projects, and now you got more options, more frames, for people to choose from. Is that what kind of led to 50/50 kind of dwindling away?
I think we could have been better regardless of the riders. I think that first of all, I think when the riders left, that was how do you put this? So our motivation for Fitty Fitty was never to build a successful company. It was to build a successful industry. And with that, I think we succeeded. I remember at the NSGA trade show, which was the National Sporting Goods Association, I think, standing in front of a wall of all of the industry. So people from every boot, every frame, or it was before frame. So every boot, every wheel, Daily Bread, etc., and pitching the idea of UFS and sitting and saying, hey, we need to consider that frames should be a first-class citizen along with wheels and boots. That a skater should be able to walk into a skate shop and say, I want that boot, I want that frame, and I want those wheels, and build their own skate. And that was always our dream. And that was something that we did. So in that sense, I think that, the spirit of Fitty Fitty and the replaceable aftermarket frame world, obviously today going into Oak City Skate Shop and seeing the frames that I worked on 20 years ago and buying a skate that was just produced, and those frames that I had in my closet from prototypes still fit. Say what you will about UFS, right? Maybe it needs to be updated, but the fact that it hasn't been, and that the work that I did still is compatible with modern day skates, that's a pretty huge win.
Yeah, I think I think speak for like when you think of UFS, like you first think of 50/50, just because of the way things worked out. And I like Josh, that was also my first pair of UFS frames, and just the idea of being able to swap out frames was so primitive, even at the time, that you felt like you were doing something wrong, like you were doing a cheat code of like I can put red frames on my. But yeah, man, I get what you're saying as far as it just kind of went away, but you can't deny that 50/50 left a huge mark, and yeah, it's crazy. Even this many decades later, the same design.
And ultimately, that's why I wanted to bring it back. So when I got into blading again, 2017, and started back to blading, I started getting a lot of comments. Hey, because I was writing balance frames, and balance frames weren't available. Like if you found them, I think the only way to get them was off of the Monterey SSMs. Is that right?
Yeah.
So maybe they came on the Monterey SSMs, and this was during my hiatus. So I've seen them now, but I didn't know anything about those. They ended up being like a collector's item, and I was like, well, maybe I could make them again. I never thought that I'd bring back a company and start, new frames and eventually build a skate brand. It was, what if I could make frames again for the people who love the frames? I love the frames. I'm skating. I want to have more frames that I could skate. So Jess put me in contact with the factory, and I made a few emails and sent some, a lot of money out of like my personal thing. Like I paid off all of the Fitty Fitty debt that I accumulated over the years, which again is kind of like student loans, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I had money. I've been software developer for 20 plus years, so I'm pretty comfortable. And I was like, well, how can I reinvest in this world that kind of gave me the skills that I have that, made my life so great? And it's like, well, the one thing that I could do that's extremely unique is I have access to these frames that aren't available anymore. What if I could bring them back? What if I could let people skate them and remember what they used to be like? Because when the balance frames came back, 2017, 2018, the frames there weren't really a lot of flat options out there. I think it was just when Wish came out, but a lot of frames were very positioned towards anti-rocker frame. It's hard to remember those days, but this is 8 years ago. There weren't a lot like slimlines, maybe, but those are rough for skating flat. Creates, obviously, that's also a rough frame for skating flat. Something with a small, tight groove. They just didn't make frames like that anymore. And I was like, well, I like them. I'm skating them flat, and I'm able to royale. And I'm 40 years old or however old I was at the time. I bet people would like these. I kind of feel like I'm obligated to bring them back because I'm the only one that could. So that's when I started it. And then obviously things fell from there, and it was a big hit. People were stoked on it. And that's where we are now. 2 brand new frame molds that we've invested in, bunch of different colors, brand new team, and now the skate company as well.
Any idea so on the juice blocks?
Yeah.
I think that was the good time you were talking about Richard with the 50/50s. He had the white, and then you can put the red juice blocks in there.
Yeah.
Those juice blocks were tight
Those
at the
juice blocks
time.
were
I
sick.
liked them a lot.
My favorite thing about the juice blocks is because I would skate. I would skate caveman
You skate
basically
Fatty Daddy.
back in
Oh,
the day,
yeah.
and I'd break frames all the time doing gaps. I'd get a deep groove, and the frame would just snap. And the juice blocks provided extra, extra support for your frame, like some reinforcements in there if you wanted to skate caveman. And I really like
got a
that.
concussion for that same reason from a ground control frame. I didn't skate middle wheels.
Yeah.
I just skated caveman. I didn't skate anything.
Man,
And I was filming for Josh's video. Nonetheless, I was with Josh when I got this concussion.
Oh, snap.
Wait, what was the trick, John?
whoa.
It was a back rail.
Remix.
It was that back rail on the handicap rail in Weatherford, and for some reason I didn't. My frame cracked on the bolt part, and my frame just caught, and I just flew forward and just smashed my head on the ground.
Damn.
Picked my head up, and I was skating away thinking about Mega Man, which I always do when I hit my head for some reason. I don't know why. I seriously
That's
ask
I-
anybody who's been with me for some reason. Mega Man, it just
mean-
plays in my head through the stage. And I've had like 3 or 4 of these things. And
Oh, you told me this story
don't
the
know
other
why.
time.
Mega
Quick
Man. Huh?
Mega Man plug.
That's
He
why
does
it's
wear a
so
helmet.
funny.
Yeah.
Just
He
saying.
does wear a
Juice
helmet.
Hey,
blocks
blue
were-
frames.
The juice blocks was like that relief of like I don't need to skate a middle wheel. I didn't like any rockers. Like I never liked the any rocker wheel.
But even
Juice
without the
blocks
juice
were good.
blocks,
That was our design, and I think it was
Yeah.
the first freestyle frame. And there's a funny story about that. So at the ASR trade show, this was after NSGA, and ASR was the action sports something. It was in San Diego, and it was another trade show. I think the industry only went there twice, but we had a booth, and I remember having them on display. And I remember Shane Coburn, who I knew from Mind Game and from being in Southern
Yeah.
California,
Yeah.
walked by and looked at the frames with juice blocks. And this was the first time any frame had juice blocks
Yeah.
or anything like that. And he's like, "Thank you."
For
And I'm
sure. That's where Mook came
Oh,
from.
but
'cause
so
it
here's
just-
so
yeah.
that's exactly the thing.
For
He's
sure.
like, "Thank you."
I
And
know.
little did I know that asshole had designed the Mook frames and had them ready like
I know.
2 months later. I'm like, "Fucking hell."
But
And
those-
it's
I
like,
heard-
man.
those were
He came
snapping
out
on
with
people.
The slanted kind of Mook
They
frame
were.
with the,
Yeah, yeah.
with the extra groove, and
Yep.
and that's where all that. I know. Yeah, it's
Exactly.
we as skaters we see it, but like we don't know the behind the scene. But it's
Yep.
like you play this scene in your head of like, oh, I know what
Yep.
happened.
Oh, how it went down?
This has to happen
Absolutely.
this way. Like,
Man,
It-
I mean,
but I do love the juice blocks because they were light, and it was just as it was like an anti rocker, but it was flat, so you can really skate like some really big like
Mm-hmm.
contour stuff, and it just brought a different. It was just good.
it's a good,
like
it's a good product, and it was cheap. I think being affordable has always been tricky
sure.
with blading, especially when we have such high minimums to make products. Like frames aren't any cheaper than they were back in the days. They're probably double the price now when we're making them, but the quantities are still so high, which limits the ability to make cool colors or new products or
Yeah,
experiment and things like that.
and
So,
and that's now.
yeah, that's now. Yeah,
That's now. That's
Yeah.
yeah. Okay,
So, well,
that was a question, but
Yeah, good question. And juice blocks, yeah, we still make them, or I should say, I made them. This was back with the old factory that had the old balance frame molds.
yeah.
They are still compatible with Balance 2s, which is the new frame that we made.
Cool.
But not a lot of people skate them anymore. I think John Cooley skates them. Again, if you're skating a
Yeah.
big fat
Sure.
rail, they're really fun. But yeah, I think it's an
Shout out
old
Cooley.
design. Yeah.
juice blocks aside, the balance frame was still on its own a beefier frame.
Yep.
A stronger
Yeah, because
frame.
I had the side.
Yeah,
side
you know,
little-
that was my favorite part
I
about
did
the
it.
frame.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It took forever to get to the bolts. Every other frame because I was a ledge guy, so I always skated ledges, and man, you'll just hear that bolt just scratching on the ledge,
Yeah,
and
it's
then
time for
hard to
new-
take off the wheel because you had all that wax and you grinded up the bolt.
When I got
But
the
with the
I heard
50/50s,
it. Yeah.
50/50s, it was perfect. That
Like
frame
that.
lasted me a lot. And then, like how he says,
the H-Block is
just
thick too.
and then switching it around, like I got a whole new frame.
Yeah.
I'll just say, like, real quick, when I got the Aeons, it has that same kind of and I was like, oh, this means this is gonna last for a while. And it's not the same plastic, man. It's not.
No.
It's not like the balance frames, dude.
No, it is
Those
not.
go way quicker. The balance frames,
Yeah,
you,
they
had,
last-
you had some time.
They last long. It was like
Yeah.
a nice hard plastic.
Yeah.
Well, thank you all for the support.
So wait, can we talk
great
about
frame.
did you have any involvement in the prime frames?
Yeah, so Prime sold me. I designed the initial core frames right as like my last project before really focusing fully on my dad. And they were a response to the Mook frame. So Shane was, designed this freestyle frame that was awesome, but they kept breaking. So we were like, well, how do we make a frame that is a freestyle frame that won't break? And we were like, well, what if we supported it with metal on the inside? And by following that contour, just doing wheels 1 and 4, and then using the inside as the plastic grind area, we realized real quickly that, oh, well, that means that the groove could be anything. So we could make new walls that could slide on that same aluminum core, and using bolt 1 and bolt 4, replace the frame wall, but keep that core in there. So you have a really solid core. But whatever frame you wanted, you could have a flat setup, you could have a freestyle setup, you could have, whatever style you wanted. And then other companies could make frames for it. And this was like me dreaming big about what was the potential of the core system. And then obviously my dad got sick and I, didn't really follow through with it. But when I came back, I was like, shit, I've got to dust off those old drawings because there's got to be a sequel. Like I've got to see this through to where the inevitable would have gone, where there was a way that this is a new mounting standard. The Core System 2, which I think I released in 2020, maybe 2019, maybe. I think it was before COVID. Is a completely new. I actually have one on the wall. It was a completely new system with the aluminum core on the inside.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
And then the plastic sidewalls. So the system mounts UFS. And then it's got the 1 and 4 where it mounts to the core. And then this is all plastic. So this is the prime frame. You can download.
Who's currently riding on the team?
We've got a bunch of people on the team. So John Fromm, Stefan Brando, Yondi, Chris Farmer. Rob Kellett.
Shout out.
Becky Sotelo. Like we've got a great team.
Let's go.
Funny enough, so CJ Wellsmore skates these frames. He's not on the team, but he's just a good dude who's reached out and he said, hey, I love these frames because when I'm skating really fast, they don't bend on me. You know how like plastic frames, if you put a lot of torque on them, especially with bigger wheels at higher speed, you can kind of feel a little bit of a flex. Aluminum frames don't do that. And that's why Joe Atkinson rides aluminum frames, but with a plastic wall, you could still grind. You don't have to worry about that aluminum, the metal hitting the coping.
Yeah, that's the perfect combination of the use of metal for the strength and the stability, but then you still got the plastic to grind on. Like that seems like just the perfect combination.
Yeah, that's exactly it. We open sourced so again, this is me 20 years after the initial design, knowing what I know and 20 plus years of working in a software development career. I open sourced the design. So you can download to your computer the design for the core and print your own frame walls.
Wow.
So that wall itself is a downloadable item that you can customize, or you can use the core model and extrude your own frame out of it, print it, and then slap it on and go out there and skate. And funny enough, that's how the T-neck frame was designed. So Duran reached out. He had a design using the core system and said, I want to make a frame. I'm going to design it and use this as my way to test it. He 3D printed them. He was able to test them. And then he made, based on his groove and based on his design, sent it over to, wherever he got the molds made. And now he has plastic frames. Justin Thursday, same deal, designed the AG60, probably not the AG60, but he had one called the JT
Yeah.
frame, I think. He then designed it for Icon and was able to make those frames through that. So I am thrilled with the response to the prime frame and the core system too. As a dude that, again, my motivation getting back into blading was to give back. The fact that I can give people a platform to design their own stuff. Like, if we had that back when I was a kid, I don't know where I would end up. Like, I'd probably be some sort of a designer nowadays, like instead of software development, right?
That's awesome, dude. Like, this is so much information, and they're in the chat. They're like, everybody's just sitting back listening. We're all just like, I feel like I'm just viewing the podcast. Like, I'm watching,
I want to ask questions, but there's so much good information coming out.
Yeah,
it's like I'm trying to hold on to stuff.
It's not my first time.
Yeah.
I do want to do one thing, or if you're new to the stream, be sure to like the video. We got about 50 people watching, so thank y'all so much for tuning in. Subscribe if you're new. We're gonna have lots of guests on in the future. We stream every Wednesday, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. But I do want to get into a segment here, and we'll go ahead and jump right in. All right, John, you want to explain the rules and jump right in?
Hey, we got quick 6, which you got 6 seconds to answer these questions. I'm about to give you 6 questions. You got 6 seconds. Just top of the head. You just go for it. Your favorite trick ever.
Back Royale.
Best 50-50 frame ever. And I say, okay, sorry.
More time.
Sorry, I'm not trying to take time. I should have said best 50-50 frame ever made, like as far as like the color rider, like the best frame.
Oh man. So best frame for me is the prime frame in black. The best color is probably the yellow pre-UFS John Julio.
Yeah, the Julios.
Like
That was a good one.
That's a good one.
Favorite skate video song.
Oh man, probably Randy Spicer VG3. Is it ABC? Yeah.
Jackson 5.
Yeah, VG3 was a huge one for me. So yeah.
Nice.
Your favorite chroma wheel you've made.
Probably China's first wheel.
Love it.
Able to work with China is just.
Is that blue one?
Yeah.
Natalie got that at the Oklahoma comp. She has a pair of those at home.
Number 5. Current favorite skater.
Geez, I love watching Brian Weiss. I think underrated and
Good pick.
I love Brian Weiss too. Shout out Brian Weiss. Shout out Lou Naylor. Shout out all the
Rust Belt.
Shout out all the everybody running on standards right now. You know what it is. Stefan, you know what it is. And then number 6, juice system or mechanism juice.
What's mechanism juice?
Mechanism was the knockoff juice system.
I mean,
was
you
it
gotta go
so
with the
funny?
original.
I think it was like a Chicago or like I don't know where it was from. It was just some. It was.
We got Chicago in the
deep-
house. We
yeah,
got
deep in the
Chicago in the
shadows.
house. We can't talk about them like that.
I would have to say juice system.
Was it mechanism like was it spelt funny? Like
No, mechanism had some things that it was.
I think you're thinking of dysfunctional.
oh yeah, man,
I
dysfunctional.
got a story about that.
I would love to hear.
For another time. A couple more drinks, maybe.
Well, thank you for joining the quick 6. I hope that you had everything fulfilled tonight. Josh is gonna send you home with a nice goodie bag from the nice little place called a goodie bag.
That was quick 6
was great.
with
John Sullivan.
Oh, whoa.
Dude, I got my own segment. Dude, I'm gonna go so much harder every episode now.
Sick.
Yeah, you asked John. I created it. Let's see that intro one more time. That's classic.
Oh, I love this. Dude. I'm gonna start
Beautiful.
wearing a suit. I'm gonna start wearing a suit
Get the Bob
every
Barker wig.
And hey, guys, if y'all want a segment, pitch it to me. We'll get y'all something. Also, y'all
Love
can have
it.
y'all's own little segment. But yeah, that was a lot of fun. Thanks for doing that. Forest Law with John.
Hey, I appreciate that, Josh. I give you
I can
flowers,
appreciate it. I can appreciate it.
So for great segment, by the way, love it. The yellow 50-50, the Julio's iconic. I think John Cooley came out with a yellow frame. Is that right? Or was
That's
it
right.
John?
So Yep, John Cooley and Chad Tannehill did a yellow and black prime.
Yeah.
Okay. So was it inspiration of the Julio frame, or was it like do you have to ask permission to be like, can I get the yellow frame?
We did a yellow frame when I came back. It was during COVID, and it was our first yellow Balance 2. And funny enough, and I still talk with John. John's a great guy, but I don't know anything what he does at them, and he doesn't know anything that I do at Fitty Fitty or Standard or anywhere else. He released the 909 at the same time that we came out with the yellow frame. And the 909, the original 909 came in that beautiful charcoal gray, which was very similar to like the coup d'etat style UFS throne or USC thrones. So it was like this perfect yellow and gray. It looked amazing. Just a coincidence. I think we've done red, we've done yellow. Bright colors have always been like a staple of Fitty Fitty.
Yeah.
They don't sell super well nowadays. I think people are very hesitant to do anything too outside of the black, white, gray spectrum.
Or blue right now. There's like blues dropping hot right now.
Yeah, blue's pretty.
I think only with wheels they do that, right? They'll wear like
Go wild with the colors.
Yeah, they'll go wild with the colors on wheels. But yeah, frames, you're right. I don't really see a lot of crazy colors.
But the Yondu is a pretty wild color.
Both of them. So the first was a forest green, which again, great look, and it came with this blue wheels. So definitely a choice that you got to get.
Color combination.
Yeah. Oh, I love it.
Great
Both
color,
of them,
like
great color
forest
combinations.
green with blue, like that's a great.
But what's cool about it? What's cool about it for the pro rider is that you spot your frame right away.
Oh yeah.
So you know who's rocking your frame, and so does the world. That's what's pretty tight.
Yeah, I love it.
Well, let's get that was a lot of 50-50 information. I want to save some time.
Let's get let's get into standard.
Yeah,
I want to know what's up with the standard.
Yeah, I want to save some time to talk about standard.
Y'all like my segue there to the Yondu?
Yeah.
So, Law, you are the creator and owner of Standard Co., right? Standard Skate Co.
Yep.
Okay. How did that what was the progression, the evolution into creating that brand and, starting a boot company?
Sure. So, Fitty Fitty was back. I started making frames. I brand new mold. I made a new mold to test the new factory for Compass, which is my big wheel brand. UFS frames for 72 millimeter, 80 millimeter, 90 millimeter wheels. And I wanted that was inspired basically around me wanting to skate with my kid. And she had her first pair of skates, and I was out there trying to keep up with 58 millimeter anti-rocker, and that was not a good experience. So I was like, well, what if we had a big wheel frame that wasn't expensive that you could put on your UFS skate and go out and skate with your kids? And I found a new factory, and I wanted to test them out. So I made the Compass frame, the first Compass frames, did production with them, was very happy with the quality. And that's when we did the prime frames shortly after. Which are the plastic metal combination. After we were selling a lot of frames, the factory said, hey, you're making a lot of frames. Do you ever want to make your own skate? And I was like, I mean, that seems like a stretch. I don't know anything about making skates.
So they came to you with the idea.
They hit you with a package deal?
Yeah.
They're just trying to upsell you, huh? They're trying to upsell you.
Oh, they're serious about that. They make everything in house already, so they were like, we could just put a few skates on this shipment, and they started to send me skates. They were like, here's some examples of skates that we can make, and it was like some well-known brands. And I was like, oh, so y'all really know how to make skates. Like, I'm convinced that this is just the tip of the iceberg here. Like, if we start going down and doing work with you, I feel like we can reach that level of quality that the other brands have had, because they make a lot of the other brands. Mm-hmm. So started working with Stefan. I don't know if he was on a team at the time, Stefan Brando.
I think he was in the FR one, or
that might have been right when he joined FR. Maybe he was just leaving Rossi's and just joining FR. Yeah. But we started talking about it, and I shared with him because he was Fitty Fitty. He's also on Chroma. And he's a really, really good friend. We talk probably weekly, if not more often. And I was like, hey, the funniest thing just happened. The factory asked if I ever wanted to make a skate. And he was like, dude, you've got to do it. And I'm like, I don't know, dude, like that's a lot of money and I don't know anything about making skates. And he started throwing these ideas at me, like, this is what it could look like. This is how we could do it. And I'm like, okay, let's do some research. And the first skate that we were going to make was a carbon skate because it was a lot easier. Like if you have to make your own mold, it's a huge upfront cost. You got to invest in the molds, invest in the sole plates, invest in the cuffs, invest in the hardware, all of that stuff. And then you got to make one for each size. If you made a carbon skate, you could potentially use the existing designs that they have, the existing shapes that you have, maybe make a custom shape for a last, they call them a last, for each of your sizes. But the carbon, you don't have an upfront mold cost. So I was like, okay, that's an easy way to get in.
And real quick, the mold,
Yeah.
that's like the biggest investment, isn't it? Whenever starting a boot company is getting that mold created.
Yep. So each mold, just some rough numbers for a size, is you could estimate around 20 grand.
Oh my gosh. I didn't think it
Per
was
size?
that big.
Yeah. Yeah.
Damn.
We have 5 shells
man.
now. So yeah, that's why when you say, oh, why don't you have a shell for a straight size 8?
Give me like
It's like, yo,
8.25.
like $20,000, thanks. Like that's a lot of money for just the small set, which is why you see most skate companies do, skips.
Medium,
So,
large,
yeah,
all
exactly.
those kind of
That's
sizes.
exactly it.
Yeah.
So we wanted to do that, but the only way to accomplish what we were hoping to do with the budget that I had was let's do carbon. We started down that road. It didn't really feel right. It wasn't something that Stefan would skate, and I didn't really have a good feel. Like, it was exploratory, but when you know, and it just didn't pass the smell test. Like this
So
wasn't.
glad you didn't.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I loved carbon skate. So I was an adapt skater at the time.
Oh,
I loved my SEPA CJs, but I'm a hockey guy, which funny enough goes into why the V1s were so stiff, because again, I'm a hockey guy. I love a stiffer skate.
Yeah, I hate that.
Yeah, exactly.
I hate that.
That's why I said I used to have carbon USDs, and I used to hate skating at that point.
Yeah,
I wish we had this conversation 4 years ago. It would have saved me a lot of money. But yeah, so we were like, okay, carbon's not for me. And they were like, well, we do have some plastic molds that we could open for you. And I was like, okay, well, let's look into it. And they started sending me samples, and we got a few samples, and we were like, okay, how could we make this work? And we were like, I just got to do it. Like, I feel so good about this. I know that we can make it work. I'm just going to go for it. Again, this was pre-COVID. No, this was at COVID. It was at COVID. So it was 2020. And I did really well during COVID. I obviously, all of the people that suffered through COVID sucks. People who lost loved ones sucks. Rollerblading industry was thriving.
Yeah.
And anybody who had any product sold out quickly. Like you could not produce things because all of the factories were closed. So I had a shit ton of wheels and frames all gone. Like I was just selling everything that I could bring in. Bearings. I was doing 20 sets of bearings a week to a single shop. Just boom, 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 boom. It was flowing out the door. And I reinvested that money into getting the mold started. And I was like, I've got to put this to good use. Again, I'm not doing this it's kind of a cheat code, but I have a really great career. I do this as a passion project, as a thing to give back to the industry, and something that I've dreamed about doing since, I was a kid. I invested all of the money that I made from COVID back into the skate project, and that's where Standard started. So we got our first molds. They came out a little wrong because I've never made a skate before. Turns out that the 3D print that we were testing off of was a bad size. It didn't correctly display what the internal measurements of the molds were actually going to be. And it was either a file translation error or just me screwing something up. Factory worked with us so that we could start from scratch, but that kind of started us off on a weird note. But that in turn made the large skate my sample skate. So I was the first one to skate it, which was kind of a mixed blessing because I was able to go out, with Back to Blading YouTube channel and promote it and test it in public and share, what we're doing. And I think that helped with the awareness and the hype getting to it. And then when the team got their skates, I could shift that focus away from me to skaters, which, is where it really should be.
The
but
team is something I wanted to talk about. Can we segue into that? Unless you want to wrap up your thought that you had just had.
No, I was just going to say that the natural progression after that, we got the new mold started. It was a rough first production because who knew that making a skate was really hard. And we learned a lot from V1, brand new material in V2, which is a lot flexier. It's not as stiff, and then cleaned everything up. And now we're waiting on V3. They're hopefully hitting customs this week. So we should have them at shops this week in the office. Yeah.
The Brian Weiss, the blue ones?
Yeah, Brian Weiss and the white ones. Yeah, exactly.
So how long were you testing the skates before the team got them?
Here, wait. Before you start that, I'm just gonna take a quick bathroom break. I'll be right back. I'm gonna leave it on the couch, and y'all can continue.
Yeah.
I think we can.
I was testing the skates for months before the team got them, and sadly, the team didn't get them until they were all out on tour. Like they literally got them and went on tour to start filming for the introductory video for the team. So they saw all of the 3D models. They put them on their feet. They, could feel the sole plates and stuff like that, but they didn't have a actual skatable skate until they went out there and they were like, hey, like these hurt.
Yeah, I was going to ask,
I was like, oh shit.
Is there like a feeling of like, what if I'm wrong? Like, what if these feel good on me and I'm just so off the mark? And I guess maybe
it was the worst feeling ever. Yeah.
But
that's what happens. We were way off with what we thought, what I thought people wanted in a skate. And in hindsight, the lack of samples that we had, the lack of sizes that we had, we only had, the 44 to start with, which, as I mentioned earlier, most pros are like a 43, 41, 42. So that's usually what you get for a sample size. If I had those to start with, we would have likely nipped that flex issue in the bud before it got to production, but I didn't know any better.
Yeah.
And with the first launch, again, because we were in such a time constraint, and I had already, and this is the positive and the negative of doing pre-orders, and I'm sure that everybody's got experience now with skate companies doing pre-orders for products. In that situation, that was the only way that we could get this project off the ground, is by doing pre-orders. We didn't have enough money to invest in making the molds. Like we were taking out loans and making it work, but it's like you can only loan so much, again, $20,000 for each size. That's why we didn't launch extra small, right? And we got in, I didn't realize that it was a problem until the team got them. And I was like, oh, fuck, we're in production. Like, what do we do? So we worked with the factory to try to salvage what had happened with V1. And I would say probably half the people who got V1s could make them work. The other half just couldn't. And either they ended up on the shelf and they were like, that's fine. Like I support you. Sometimes things are going to work out. Sometimes they aren't. Or they wrote me and I was like, all right, just send them back. Like I'll refund you. Like we'll make it work. Like this wasn't a one and done. We knew that this was going to be a multi-year investment in time. And it's like, you gotta start somewhere.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was kind of it was the worst time.
I mean, but like you said, like how could you know? But like, how does that come to your attention? Do they come as a team? Does one person just speak up and say, "Hey, is anybody else having this issue?"
Yeah, and the funny thing was, everybody was at the same spot when they got their samples because they were out filming the trailer or the team video, and it was like, and they were like, "Hey," like Stefan especially, because I knew Stefan so well. Was like, dude, like we've got to talk because I'm bleeding trying to get these skates to work. Now I'll say that the initial samples were not the way that production ended up. They were worse than production. We made a lot of changes to the cooling process after the skates got out of the molds to open them up a little bit more. They came with these paper tubes to widen them up so that they wouldn't collapse. because the skates were so stiff, they would create these pressure points around your ankle, and that was what was digging into people and just like causing bruising and cuts. Never happened to me, and never happened to the people that I had trying my skates, which, to be fair, was 3 or 4 people. But it was definitely a surprise when I realized that these skates had a flaw. So as soon as that production was done, we started testing new materials for V2.
But this time with the team's input.
Yeah. So Yandi, I think, was the main tester, because we knew that he was going to have the first pro skate, and we must have done 5 or 6 different materials just to get it right. We were like, we can't mess this up. Like, people will give us a pass the first time because we're trying it out, but if we fuck this up the second time, like, it's over.
Yeah.
So we took our time with it. We tested all the different materials. We ended up with something that I'm really pleased with. And yeah, I think the response to V2 was great. The V3s are going to be even better.
Yeah, it's such a huge investment. Like, if you mess it up, like, you get one pass after that, man, you're in deep. And that's got to be really scary.
And also,
it is.
Oh, sorry. I was gonna say, also, all being on you is like the ultimate version of. Have you guys ever had someone try your skates on at the skate park, and they're like, "How do you skate these?" And you feel kind of like hurt by that.
Yeah.
That's like the highest level. But I mean, luckily it turned around, and it's everything's worked out the way it should. But man, that's gotta,
I think a liner has to do a lot to do with that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Just put your own liner.
Well, and I could get into that, but first, being a public person also was really tough. I don't want to toot my own horn. I'm a very different company owner. I'm out in the Instagram. I'm on YouTube. At least during the time of launch, I was still skating every week. I was posting on Instagram every week. I was doing the blading community challenges where we were getting people to send in clips, and I was editing them all together. Like, I was very involved with the community throughout. So when somebody found that the skates weren't working for them, they let me know about it because they had a relationship with me.
Yeah.
I was doing the podcast. I was in their ears for 2 hours every other week. And it's like, hey, I know you, Lawrence. Like, I can tell you that this isn't working out. And you get it's worse than just getting the random YouTube comment from some nobody who says, where are the hammers? It was your friend who was like, yeah. And it's like, shit, like, I feel really bad. Like, what can I do to make it better? And that was the whole year until we got V2 out. That was the whole year. And it was a rough year. But I'm very happy where we are now. V3 was a lot of little tweaks. With V2, we focused primarily on getting the materials right. And now it's like, okay, how can we clean up everything else? So it's flattening out mounting areas. It's recessing screw bolts. It's adjusting all of the little tolerances so that things pop in the way that they should. Making a skate's hard. Like, the amount of parts that we've had to make, it's intense. So everything coming together in like a nice product that doesn't squeak, that doesn't, flex around, still gives you support, but still lets you grind. Like, it's a really complicated project. I have a lot of respect for Matthias and all of the work that he's done over the years to get to where he is now.
Yeah, I would say you're definitely like the most out there skate brand owner. Like you said, all your content you produce, you're the face of it. You put yourself out there. I couldn't tell you, other than them skates for John Julio, I couldn't tell you who owns half of these brands that are out there. So that, that's really great. And I'm sure it's a lot of pressure for you, but it builds that, that reputation, and, that you're going to put yourself out there. And, that's just really awesome. I did want to kind of get into, because I'm always curious about this whenever I'm thinking about products and teams. Like, how did you go about putting together the teams? How did you choose the people that you wanted to ride for Standard?
Sure. Stefan was a no-brainer. Love Stefan and have for many, many years. He is an amazing designer, but he's also a very real, he's brutally honest with me. So he can correct me when I'm going off the wrong path. And because we have that relationship, he'll tell me what it should be like and what it shouldn't be like. And I need that. I need people in my life that will say no and correct me if I do something wrong. I don't get it right all the time. And if you try to do things in a silo, you're going to end up shipping shitty products. So that was Stefan. That was easy. Yandi was the second. I knew Yandi from Fitty Fitty and from Chroma. I think he was on Razors at the time. And I'm sure y'all remember.
Yeah. I do now.
Shit went a little sideways.
Forgot about that.
And
that was before the blow up. That was a pre-warm. That was a little warm up.
It
was like a
It's like rollerbladers Arab Spring.
Yeah, shit got a little weird.
Pre-game.
Yeah.
Yandi the Revolutionary.
Yeah, with the baseball bat from Boshi Pope. But he and I, knew each other really well, and I was like, hey, like, would you be at all interested in doing this project with me? Like, I don't even know if it's going to be a thing, but he's like, I trust you. I want to work with you. I'm 100% down. I'm like, great. Brian, I didn't know. So they knew Brian, but again, favorite skater, dude is so underrated. Yeah. Very smart guy, good artistic direction, brings something completely different to the game. So like, Stefan traditionally is known as the stunt guy, and like Yandi has that style swagger, like, the Richard style. Brian's got that technicality that I absolutely love, looks at things differently, does different tricks than anybody else does. And I was like, oh man, he's amazing. So those were the three. And then we actually brought Luke on early, Luke Naylor. Luke was like in the wings, like not really skating, but he was definitely skating standard. We would flow him and everything. And then we were able to bring him on right after V1 came out, I think. Yeah, around that time. So those were the first team. Then we brought on Broom.
Let's go. Hey.
Yeah.
Let's we can just take a pause real quick. That's my dog. That's my dog. Hey. Broom. Hey, 2023 about to be some stuff. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
2023.
I don't know.
Did you say 2023?
I don't know what's going on over there.
No, Broom's been spending a lot of time in Dallas with us, skating, getting clips. We're working on a full length, video, and hope to have a lot of Broom in it. So yeah, Broom's amazing.
Genuinely amazing guy, amazing skater, but also just a really, really good dude. That was never supposed to happen. I was in Winter Clash when shit went down again with another
I was about to say that's a weird coincidence.
Weird coincidence. Right?
Setting traps.
I sent out a message to the team, and I'm like, dude, like, we might be able to get Broom on. Like, what do you think about that? And everyone was like, that could be amazing. Like, everybody loves Broom. But we never wanted to poach anybody from a team, but it's like the door is open, and I don't know how long it's going to be open. So we reached out, and as soon as I got back, I sent him some skates to try. And I didn't know him at all. I knew of him, but I never talked with him. But we had a really nice long talk, and we just talked about, what standard's all about. And he got it. He knew that we were, trying to do something that hasn't really been done, like really build a skate around the skaters, putting the pro models first and foremost, like doing signature models with, signature products. Like Brian's skate comes with Somatics wheels, and Yandi's skate came with, Fitty Fitty and Chroma wheels, like trying to bring things back the way that I always wanted them to be. And he genuinely loves the skates. Funny enough, he skates the V1s. He loves the stiffer boot.
And just a testament to how much he likes the skates. I mean, he posted a video of other people were trying to get him on the team, and he posted a video of at the Dog Pound, the DIY in Austin, of him trying out all the different skates. So as a testament to how good the standards are and how much he likes them, like after skating them and trying out all the other skates, that's what he decided to go with.
Yeah, you had to love that endorsement.
It was a little nerve-wracking, to be honest, because I didn't know where he was going to end up at that time. We had talked, but he was So, and I'll say, and I've said it before, I'll say it again. I would have been happy with whatever boot he ended up on. Um, there is what I coined a skater made company. There are very few out there. So, Standard is one of them. Them is one of them, where the skater owns the molds. The skater came up as an aggressive skater. Like, I feel like there is a bucket of skaters that we should be supporting as a community. There's always going to be a need for the Rosies and the Power Slide products. But like, if you are an aggressive skater, we are at a golden era now for skater made products. You can find a boot that works for you that is made by a skater. If it's not a Standard, it's a them. If it's not a them, it's a faction. If it's not a faction, it's a T-neck. Like, there are multiple skates that are made by skaters who have designed the molds from start to finish.
So what do
And I
you
think
think about
really
Cougar Skates? Because Cougar Skates, I believe that's just a big company, owned by a non-rollerblader. What are your
Yeah.
thoughts on Cougar
Yeah,
Skates?
I mean, I feel the same as I do with FR, with Echo, with Rosies, that it's it's fitting a need in the industry. They can provide to shops the full gamut of products. So Cougar doesn't just make aggressive skates. They'll make big wheel skates. They'll make a bunch of different skates at different price points for kids and everything like that. There is a need in the industry for that. Aggressive, I would love for the future of aggressive to just be skater made companies. I think aggressive is so small that if if these skater made companies are competing for this small pie,
Mm-hmm.
and we're all trying to get this slice, and then there's a brand that comes in that 90% of their sales come from a big wheel, they don't care about aggressive. It's a rounding error to them. Like, for me, that's all that I do. Like, for Clark, that's all that he does. Like, we are
Yeah.
focused on aggressive, the core market, sponsoring the local events, sponsoring the riders. Like, I feel like it is a completely different industry that they are kind of playing in. And again, I would feel differently 5 years ago when there weren't a lot of options. Skate what skates fit you the best. That's always the best model. Like, I would much rather you be out there skating in a pair of rollerblade blanks, if those are the skates that fit your feet. Because skating skates that don't fit your feet, you're not going to skate very long. But now we've got at least 4 skates that come in your size. One of them is surely going to work for you, and they're all made by people who are aggressive skaters, who skate, who know what it's all about, and who are going to continue to contribute and support the community.
Do you think the boot market is becoming oversaturated right now? I don't think it probably was as much back whenever you had the idea of making a boot, but now all the brands we've mentioned and the old ones that are still putting out. I mean, do you think it's becoming oversaturated? What are your thoughts on that?
I think it came oversaturated. It's such a weird time because we're recording this 2026, 2025. All non-US based skate companies have kind of been, I guess, blocked from selling their skates in the US.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, from the US perspective, if you look at Roller Warehouse, you look at Oak City, you look at Inline Warehouse, you look at Carriers, they don't have a huge selection like they would in 2024 because they can't get Cougar, they can't get Echo, they can't get Lava, they can't get USD.
Mm-hmm.
Because they're produced in China. They're not based here. Nothing wrong with China, but right now we got to pay an extra 50% on import. And if they import the skates at wholesale pricing, there's no money for them, 50% off the top that they're already losing. So it isn't in their best interest financially to bring in those skates. From a saturation perspective, I mean, the numbers are super weird right now. This year is going to suck as well. We're focusing on the US market because that's where I'm based, and I can actually bring skates in here without having to worry about, huge tariffs, because my import cost is based on the manufactured cost. It's not based on wholesale because I can bring them in at the cost that I pay to make my skates, which makes it a lot lower price for tariffs, even though I had to raise my prices. It would be great if there were more skaters. I don't think that's going to happen. I think the boom that we had in COVID was an anomaly. I think we're going to get a small, roller coaster ride every January, February when people come back to rollerblading. I don't know if y'all hang out onto Facebook groups, but I see whenever I look, I'm on the rollerblading group. I don't really participate, but I see the posts and I see people coming back, and it warms my heart. And those people, I hope they end up with a pair of them skates or a pair of T-necks or, one of our, standard Omnis. But that's short-lived. They're going to go out there fresh, bright-eyed and fall down, hurt themselves, and realize they're not in high school anymore. And I fear that aggressive isn't going to get much bigger from back to bladers. That means that the market's going to keep getting smaller. And unfortunately, there's more and more brands out there than there ever was. When Standard came out, Cougar wasn't a thing, Lava wasn't a thing, Echo wasn't a thing, Faction didn't have a plastic boot, T-neck didn't have a plastic boot. It was a very different market. Would I have still done it? Probably. I mean, again, I'm doing this for my dream. I feel like we could differentiate with Standard being a very meticulously designed skate, very purpose-built skate, really great team, great marketing. It's a very different experience. But when price is on the line, like, are you going to go with a pair of $300 Standards or a pair of $250 whatevers? If you don't know the difference, you buy the cheaper skates, and that definitely impacts our ability to stay in business and stay profitable.
Yeah, there's a number of what's the term for less expensive skates?
Price point.
Price point, yeah, price point skates. But I think the market, the market's going to correct. It's going to let, the brands that people truly love have a long shelf life. And, you may see some of these other brands kind of slowly die off. I don't want them to, but it's just kind of, free market capitalism. That's how it works. Yep. So maybe, because I feel like rollerblading isn't blowing up or getting a ton of more skaters here in the U.S., but I see it in like Japan or Korea, in South America. Like, it seems like, maybe also in Europe, a uptick of younger bladers coming into the industry. So, there's room to grow. And, if we keep, doing these streams and, putting out skate videos and stuff like that, letting people see what we're doing, I think one of the problems is rollerbladers have always wanted to keep it underground. And I feel like that's kind of like, I feel like people are turning away from that. They kind of want it to blow up and become mainstream again. And I think it's a possibility, fingers crossed.
Anything's possible. I made a lot of mistakes with Fitty Fitty back in the days, not being business minded. It is a tricky business climate for starting a new skate company, starting a wheel company, etc. The kids coming back are looking for the budgetiest budget skates because their parents are buying their skates. They don't have disposable income. So that is where I feel the power slide with the glitch or, the Cougar skates, or there's this, I don't know what it's called, but there's this one that Nickel and Dime sells. That's like a kid's skate. Really, really cool options for kids. That's where those come in. They're
I think
like
it's a USD skate.
It might be a USD skate.
Yeah, the Thor skate.
I think that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, they're like, it's like
those
a
are
kid's,
cool.
it's a kid USD skate.
It's like $120 or something like that, which is amazing. If we had skates like that when we were younger, then they would sell like hotcakes. And I think that K2 made kid skates. I'm sure Solomon made kid skates. There's a market for that. But I mean, I can't sell a skate for $120. Like, it just costs too much. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know what the answer to the question is. I think it is saturated. I think there are a lot of options out there now. I think that is good in some ways. But I also fear for a year where core companies who are doing this because they love rollerblading are unable to turn a profit because the big companies have like full market share. That's when I feel like the culture really gets impacted. That's where I feel like big events like Feast become the spotlight. We'll still do the underground events, of course, like, Crowder event, like Blading Cup, etc., which arguably might not be underground. But it's harder to turn a profit. And I think, it's not just skating events, but it's also industry that kind of builds what skating is. And without all of those pieces, and the skaters, of course, it's really a weird community to be in if we don't have all those pieces together.
That was
And
like
more comp, bring more sponsors or more people setting up their booths or
Yeah.
selling their product. Like I would say more comps because it brings, whether it's sponsorships or it brings people just setting up their booths to sell their rollerblade goods.
I do think that skaters in general have done a really great job in making skating fun. We definitely went through some times, I'm sure y'all were around, when skaters didn't want other people to skate. Like it was like, this is for us, and this is what I do, and fuck you if you're going to go out there and skate at my skate park or at my spot or whatever. There's a lot of hate, and I feel like that extended to trick selection. The amount of shit that the mushroom blading guys used to get for doing stupid tricks on their rollerblades, I can only imagine.
AKA having fun.
That's exactly the point.
Yeah, we talked about that with about that with Big Homie Biz on the last stream. He was like, rollerblade is too serious.
That was a good impression.
Was that a good Biz impression?
Yes. He's absolutely right. I've seen Biz skate. I've never skated with Biz, but he has fun when he's skating, and you can see he's just socializing. He's doing a few tricks. He's talking with people. Like, that's what rollerblading is about, and that's something super unique. Like, we are a community. If you see a rollerblader at a skate park, you instantly go up to them and you say, "Hey, what's up?" That's not the thing that you would do with a scooter or a skateboard or a BMXer. It's definitely a rollerblading thing. In saying that, rollerblading is really hard. Like, we kind of take it for granted, but putting wheels on your feet, you fall down a lot. And if you don't know how to fall, or if you're not in good shape, when you fall down, you're going to hurt yourself. And I see so many people either buying skates or posting on the Back to Blading channel that they're stoked to be back. As soon as they heal from their broken elbow, they're going to go out to the skate park, which is why I push helmets so heavily. I've always worn my helmet when I skate, with very few exceptions. My kids are almost all grown up now, but if you've got kids, if you've got family, if you've got a livelihood, mentioned Jason Marshall back in the beginning of the show. Jason hit his head 3 years ago skating in front with his kid, and absolutely nothing going on, just tripped on a crack, fell backwards, hit his head. I mean, Fritz obviously fell and hit his head. Shit happens, and they are amazing skaters. If you're wearing a helmet, the chance of that being a traumatic brain injury goes way down.
We got like Fritz street skates in a helmet, which is a really good role model. Josh Glowicki also skates in a helmet. Brandon Bobadillo, Beebs, Montre, he's wearing his helmet. Yeah, that's really nice to see, because it's a good role model for the kids. And I mean, it was such a stigma back in our day, wearing a helmet. We were like, it was just considered whack. But I think it's becoming more accepted, which is definitely a good thing.
Yeah. And fun tricks are being accepted. We're seeing a lot of people skating flat, not because it is better on their old knees, which it is, but because you can actually skate. Yeah, you can skate. What is it? Dom Sagona always said, like, you're doing a trick and then you're just walking over to the next thing and you're doing a trick. It's like, why don't you do something between the two tricks? Like, why don't you do tricks in the middle? And it's like,
and wear your shirt halfway off your body.
And the med spin is born.
I'm not saying Dominic had all of the best ideas, but
percentages were high.
It influenced mushroom blading. I think
it was a huge influence.
I think Don Sagona definitely influenced like mushroom blading to
see an homage to that.
You can see it. And it's so cool because the movement is like, it's just like another connection of like grinding, but exactly that space that you have from this to this, you add movement. I used to hate on it, but then I was like, well, wait a second, like they're really like, they're breaking down movement. Like, why would you not want to like swerve and and feel like what rollerblades could actually do. I get any rocker. I think it's cool, but man, riding flat with some swerve ain't nothing but popping up on a curve. You know what I'm saying? Woo!
And people can recognize that it's fun. They can recognize that what you're doing is difficult versus, oh, did he put his foot in front or in back? Is it a Savannah or is it a back unity? Like, who fucking cares? Like, end of the day, you're jumping on a ledge in a different pose and you're sliding to the end. Like, I don't care how many switch ups you do, how you get on, how you get off. The fact that you can skate, that's what people are really drawn to. It's like, wow, that's why the flips were always such a big deal at demos. It's like the half pipes, right? That's what brought crowds in. It's not people, doing switch ups on curbs.
Yeah, definitely.
I like how you go you go between diplomatic to gingerly putting stuff out there.
I mean,
Very politely.
there are a few topics that I'm very diplomatic about.
Yeah.
My opinions on where skating should go. I want skating to thrive, and I'm very passionate about protecting the industry. Again, I stood up and fought for UFS. I'm going to fight for skater-made products. Even if it's not my products, you should be buying Factions. Like, they're great skates. I'm going to fight for skating and having fun. When I came back, the only YouTube channels that I could find, the only YouTube videos that I could find were mushroom blading. So Joey and Todd doing some weird shit. Or it was Fen Bokerst in the World Tour stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Where he was launching
Grady Glaze.
Let's go.
We're
And
big,
it's like
we're
they're-
big Brokehurst Sven fans here at the podcast.
Amazing.
Yeah.
He's amazing.
Yeah.
But it was this level or it was this level. And I, as back to blading, wanted to be this level. 40-year-old dude, just loves skating, fall down a lot, but I'm learning tricks. And I felt like that was a niche that more people needed to see. I really want to promote that. And I think more people that see that is attractive to more people. They're going to want to try aggressive, all ages, because they see normal people not pulling off all the tricks, but having a really good time skating.
Yeah, and you're doing a great job. I mean, your YouTube channel has 22K subscribers.
Wow.
I mean, your live
Blazing.
streams get a lot of views. So, you're really doing it, and the industry appreciates it, and they're coming out for it.
And
Yeah,
it's
thanks.
really just fortunate that there's a way to actually get that kind of content out, because before, if it was just like, you couldn't put out like a DVD of like old dudes having fun, people weren't gonna.
No.
But that, because you can actually just tune in and watch, like you said, like there's a really high bar to reach as far as like being the best rollerblader, and that can be like really off-putting to some people.
Yeah.
But when you showcase just how fun it is, like you said, and I don't want to repeat what you said, but
Yeah.
there's people have a reason to keep coming back. Maybe I'm not going to hurricane topsoil as drop rail, but I can go out and do my acid soles and my true miz, and maybe I won't blend all of them, but I get a couple of them, I feel good, and I know that I got a bunch of other people feeling like the same kind of skating.
I think that's inspirational. I think seeing somebody challenge themselves to get a new trick and then finally do it is inspirational. I think people seeing like Ricardo Lino is amazing at it. At first, he's a great skater to begin with, but he is so infectious because he's out there having a good time.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why his channel does so well, because people just see it and they're like, this guy is out there skating and I love to see him have fun with skates on. That is whole reason I'm talking about this. It's not the kids that are going to bring skating back. It's just awareness of skating, all ages. We focus on kids, we're not going to sell much. We focus on back to bladers, we're not going to sell much. We need to get more people out there aware of just skating. Go skate in your neighborhood, go get some big wheel frames and just go skate on a trail and just show your love for putting wheels on your feet. Aggressive is amazing. There's so many different things that you can do with skates. Like, go explore everything. And that's how you're going to promote skating, and that's how more people are going to come back and be interested in it.
Yeah, and like that attitude kind of it started to affect the actual blading day to day also, because back in the day at like skate parks, you didn't want to like give someone props if you weren't like cool with them, if you weren't like in the clique, because that's like currency, you don't want to give that away. But now it's like you see people having fun and you do support it, even if they're just doing a very, very basic trick in your eyes. The struggle is the same, and that's what we all celebrate now, is like you see it, people having fun, landing the trick that's hard for them, and the whole session is all about it.
That's an excellent point.
Yeah, I remember that, Brady, whenever we're
That's
street
what's
skating
up,
and y'all are
man.
telling me to,
Dude,
remember what you did on this rail? Do it again. I'm like, man, I'm trying to chill. I'm trying to back farve this
like,
rail.
I don't know you. I'm not going to clap for that trick. It was cool, but I'm not going to tell you that.
Well, so we'll go ahead and start to kind of wrap up. We've ran 2 hours, but I do want to, oh, it's not on me. I do want to ask you, like, so what does the future hold for Standard? What does the future hold for you? You know, what are your plans moving forward?
So Standard's the easiest one. So we've got V3 coming. The Brian Weiss skates. These are the Brian Weiss skates. Amazing blue, kind of a tribute to Detroit with the Detroit Lions colors. We were able to do a partnership with Sematics, so they come with Sematics wheels. Brian's
Shout out.
Yeah, that's-
shout out.
That's not just a graphic. That's the Sematics.
Absolutely love doing this. So these are on their way. They should be here next week in the US, and then outside of the US, probably middle of February. We're already working on V4, V5. A lot of new things in store there. We've got a long roadmap of stuff that we want to do with Standard. It's, again, one of the things that I do is, as a software developer, is try to plan future so that when I build one thing, I can reuse it in the next one, reuse it in the next one. We've got like V6, V7 already kind of penciled in what we were going to do. We're really excited about the future. Goal with Standard is just to get more skates out there, more sizes, more skating options, promote the team, get the team out to events, and try to support as many events as we can. So that's Standard. Super, super excited about that. Me personally, so I turned 50 this year, and I've had some health issues. Backs start falling apart. My knees start falling apart. Who would have thought that aggressive skating would do that to you? But the constant jumping up and down on ledges is definitely not good. Trying to skate more. It's super cold here, but I built we built a mini ramp in the warehouse here. So at Balance Distribution in Durham, North Carolina, we have a mini ramp. It's 20 feet wide. It's 3 feet tall, so it's easy enough for anybody to kind of learn how to skate mini. This past winter, I guess fall, I rented another storage unit in my little warehouse complex, and I have a 15-foot by 30-foot street area. So we've got 2 down ledges that are 10 feet long. We've got a rail in the middle that's 8 feet long, and a coping box at the end. So it's kind of like the old Razor's warehouse, but a little bit less intimidating. Try to get out there once a week, twice a week, and just do my grinds. I found that jumping on ledges, coming off with soft wheels, with FP insoles, with standard omnis with shock absorbers, and 88A wheels is a really good combination. So I love this setup, and being able to just go out and skate and do what I love. I hope to skate more street, hope to do more YouTube videos. It's tough with family. My biggest fear is burnout, and I've got full-time career, full-time family, and then I try to do this, skate stuff. Doesn't leave a lot of time for breaks, doesn't leave a time for skating. So trying to find more time in my day so that I can do more and avoid burnout. That is my theme for this year and the future. Skate as long as I can.
That's what's up. That's awesome. And you have a podcast episode coming up with Cody Sanders, right?
So we did a podcast with Cody last year. My friend Ben and I have done the Back to Blaming podcast for many years. The theme around that podcast, instead of an interview show, was more kind of like what I do with y'all. Talk about stories that I experienced in the industry. Ben was very knowledgeable and would ask me questions, and I would be reminded of things. And I would, tell stories about UFS or about, how physics got its start. Things that, maybe I don't have I might have a unique perspective on. And then I wanted to document it. Like there's a lot of things in blading that are just passed down. stories, but I wanted to share at least my side of things. So you go to backtobleeding.com/podcast. You can see all of our episodes, and you can do searches. So each of our episodes, I go through and I do chapters, and I do links. So anything that we reference, I link to. So like all of the Fitty Fitty ads that I worked on will be linked to it. Prototype skates, stuff like that, events, videos, things like that. We all link to them just to capture all that data. I got to a point there where I ran out of things to say, though. You only have so many stories. So I wanted to do more interviews, and Cody, good friend, he was my first person that I was able to talk to. I wanted to do a series about people who create. I have a lot of respect for what you do, Josh, and what the other podcasters do, live streamers do, creators do, video people do, because I know how much work you have to put into it, and you don't get a ton back. It's a lot of effort without a lot of payoff. I had a pretty big. Well, that is rollerblading.
Yeah, that sums up rollerblading in a nutshell.
And
For
that
the
is
people that want to keep it underground, for the people that want to make it mainstream.
That's right.
Like, it's just it is what it is. It's just we love it, and we just kind of keep going, and
you do. And I want to bring some
what
shine.
else are you gonna do? You have a passion.
Yeah, exactly. And if you have the passion,
If you don't.
I wanted to interview you. So Cody is one of them. I had a vision of being able to interview more creators who were just putting the time in and getting to know a little bit about why they do what they do. Because obviously it's not the money. Like, what's driving you to do this? Why do you spend hours editing videos? And I just haven't had time to do more. I burned out pretty heavy in fall of last year. It was just a lot going on family wise. So it's really difficult to, when you've got everything, your time budgeted to the 30-minute window of a day, and something happens that's out of your control, you kind of snowball after that. So I do hope to do more podcasts in the future, hope to do more videos in the future. I love contributing to blading. I love hearing from the community. And again, I feel like I still have stories to tell that people might find interesting. And now I'm at a point where I want to learn more about the people who are out there, and I'm sure they've got stories to tell as well. So that's what I hope to do with that.
I don't know how you do it, because I don't have any kids. I have my dog right here, and we do a stream once a week, and that's all I do other than just skate and film. But I feel like it's too much. Like, I'm like, sometimes I'm like, it'll be like Monday, and I'm like, oh my God, I haven't set up a guest. I haven't planned anything out. Now I'm stressing. It's because, I don't know how you do it. Like,
well,
it's amazing.
Huge respect. Again, it's not easy. I think you make it look easy because you've got everything dialed in. You've got, from a viewer's perspective, this all is easy. But I know how hard it was to get things orchestrated for everybody to show up on time with proper equipment. Like, it is not easy. I don't know, dude. I mean, honestly, I have a lot of focus and a lot of the creative stuff keeps me sane because my job is very strict. I'm a software developer. I do write code and I sit in meetings most of the day. Mm-hmm. So I need that balance of the left brain and the right brain, and the skating stuff is my left brain. Without it, I don't I can't function. And my wife supports me on that. But yeah, there's times when family always comes first, and that's unfortunately where things like podcasting and skating kind of suffer.
Yeah, that's understandable. And I do want to give a shout out to these two fellas and John, because without them I couldn't do this. And if you go back and watch, I have all the way back from episode 1, the very first podcast we did. It wasn't live. We didn't start streaming live till like 7 or 8, 9, 10 episode number. But I mean, you can see the progression, and it does take time, and it is stressful. But that's what we need. We need more content. So again, if anybody else is interested in starting a live stream and you want some help, hit me up. I'm more than happy to, help you with setting up your YouTube live stream, setting up OBS, setting up, a mixer, microphones, all that stuff. I learned it all by trial and error. And if you go back and watch the past podcasts, like John said, I'm just like the whole time, just like stressing out because the live stream's lagging or the mics aren't working. But yeah, it's a lot of work. And Lawrence, big, huge props to you for all that you put into it, because it is not easy.
Yeah, he says that with a
appreciate
backdrop
that.
of like multiple different products that he created.
Yeah. Look at
Yeah.
That's wild.
Oh, and then the other thing, the chat's been really wanting a boot slap. I think they got a little taste of a boot slap. You want to give them a real good one?
Yeah. So when I'm doing Gear Talk, I'm always talking about it. I'm always
Yeah.
bringing it out.
How can you not?
The new Omni V3 for Brian Weiss, beautiful blue with the replaceable sole plates, meticulously designed with a nice groove, brand new frames. These are anti-rocker frames, and slap them a little bit.
Oh, there used to be more of that. More boot slapping.
Suck a man for the good night.
People get a little excited in the chat sometimes. I don't know about that.
And yeah, I want to thank everybody for. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Law. I didn't want to cut you
I was
off.
just going to say, I appreciate everything that you just said. And yeah, everything that, goes into making this it might look easy, but it's definitely a lot of work. So kudos to you and appreciate everything that you do.
Thanks, dude. That means a lot. I truly appreciate that. And I appreciate the chat for, tuning in, leaving comments, everybody that left a super chat. That goes a really long way. YouTube does take 30%, which sucks, but your super chats have been able to provide me with some extra funds to be able to upgrade equipment like our new mixer here, and just put a little bit back for buying microphones. I bought a new laptop, things like that you need. And whenever I started wanting to do the stream, I didn't realize how deep I was getting myself into, and just failing and failing and failing. It took YouTube watching 150 hour plus of YouTube videos trying to get it right. But I want to personally thank the chat, and thank Brady and Jose for being there with me. Thank you, John. Without y'all, I couldn't do this. And yeah, it's hard work, and Lawrence is just, the amount of work that he puts in. It's truly appreciated by not just me, but the entire blading community. So yeah, mad kudos to you. I do want to thank you for coming on. We are going to go ahead and wrap up unless anybody else, John, Brady, Jose, if y'all have any last minute questions that y'all want to throw in.
No, I just want to say, so you're from North Carolina. Are you going to go to the Crowder Comp?
Oh yeah. So, good plug. Grew up in California. I'm in North Carolina now. Chris Crowder is an amazing dude. He's a local here who puts on an event. This is the 5th year that he's been doing it. If you've seen any of my videos, there's this, my favorite ledge, which is a curved ledge at the Marsh Creek Skate Park. There's also a big bowl section that I love to just flow around, do a little bit of coping grinds, a little bit of airs and stuff. They throw a big event April 19th this year, I think it is, where hundreds of people come out. We have industry, we've got kids, women and men competitions. I think a lot of pro skaters will come out. It is about 30 minutes away from my warehouse. So Balance Distribution has a warehouse here in Durham. Durham's about 30 minutes away from the skate park. We do an open house. So it is a amazing weekend to come out and spend a weekend in North Carolina. The weather is always beautiful unless it rains, which we can't really predict. But April's a great time to visit. Come on by the warehouse, check out all the products, skate the mini ramp, skate the new ledges. We've got a street area in the back as well that we're going to open up. That'll be on Sunday, and then the event is Saturday. Trying to do more for local events, on top of going out and skating more, going to local events, interacting with people, cheering people on to skate. That is another way that we can keep skating strong. And this community here in the Triangle is amazing. I try to do everything that I can to support Chris with his event. We always sponsor the porta potties because they need porta potties.
Dude, that's something that is very appreciated.
Heck yeah.
When you go to a comp and there's some porter potties. That's what's up.
We call them the portal potty because the standard Omni has the portal design. So it's the portal potty. But yeah, I love Chris and everything that he does. Again, unsung hero in the industry who puts on an amazing event. Come on out. It's the 19th of April. In Raleigh. Go to, I think it's Crowder Power. Instagram is the best place to get more information.
Yeah, and the reason I mentioned that is because I'm leaning towards trying to make it out there this year. Yeah,
Yeah.
it looks like a super fun event.
It's a lot of fun. Great spots around here too. Low cost of living, so you can get an Airbnb pretty cheap. A lot of people come out on Thursday. They skate all day Friday. They do the event on Saturday, and then they come by the open house on Sunday and then fly back Sunday night. That's kind of, I mean, years past, we've had hundreds of people stop by the warehouse, which it's amazing. My warehouse is a tribute to rollerblading. It's got a lot of archive stuff. It's got a big mural that Chris Piasek did. It's, obviously got the mini ramp and stuff like that, but it's just great to have a home base. We don't have skate shops anymore. You don't get to hold product anymore. So I wanted to rebuild that in a sense. Stop by, say hey, and the event itself is a full day. There's usually food, and vendors and stuff like that. There's product, and then you can always, bring your skates and go skate as well as hang out with everybody else. So it's a great event. Hope that you can come out and definitely stop by and say hey.
Yeah, I think that's the plan, is for us to come out there for sure, and it'd be cool to meet you in real life and swing
absolutely.
by the warehouse, skate your ramps. I definitely want to go. So Jose, we'll make that happen. Brady, John, we'll get together because I definitely want to go out there.
I was already talking about it.
Yeah, it's gonna be great. I'll have the whole team out here too, so you'll be able to skate with standard boys and girls.
I'm
Actually,
challenging John on the down boxes.
I think that will be a popular spot this year.
Eh?
No, John Fromm. I'm going for John Fromm.
I hope he's healthy, man. Poor John.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, he's
hey,
supposed
shout
to
out
be-
John Fromm, man.
Yeah, he made a post. He's supposed to be skating in like 3
why you trying
weeks.
to pick pickles on an injured man?
This is
For
my
real.
only chance. Strike while the
Yeah.
iron's hot.
He's still got Machios, dude. Don't front.
All right, awesome, dude. This was an awesome talk, and just the amount of knowledge you have is mind blowing. Like I said, most of the time we're all just sitting here, just feel like we're watching the stream from an outsider's view, just listening to you talk. You're an awesome person to chat with. I do want to just give another shout out real quick to Feet and Four Wheels. So check them out at feetandfourwheels.com and use promo code RBISF for 15% off. Blading Camp, if you want to go to Blading Camp in Malaga, Spain, use promo code RBISF for 50 euros off. And then just talk about the raffle again. We are having a raffle this stream, so all you need to do is leave a comment after the video, and everybody who left a super chat, all your $5 for every $5 you left, you'll get another entry. We'll also do a comment of the week to give that person another entry. But Hawke Trackler is going to be giving away one of his art books. It's going to be called Two Brains, and these are really high quality. Hawke Trackler, he's a videographer, he's a street artist, and he makes these awesome books. And he's going to be giving one away to the person who wins, and we'll be doing that next Wednesday, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time for the stream. All you have to do is leave a comment below after the video's done and let us know what you thought about this podcast. And with that, we'll kind of give everybody a chance to say goodbye. Lawrence, you want to go first?
Yeah, thanks for having me. This was great. Really enjoy it. Feels like we're at 2.5 hours. Feels like a normal gear talk, but I didn't have to talk the whole time. So appreciate you filling it out for me.
Yeah, dude. Thanks again for coming.
Yeah.
Jose, Brady.
Yo, nice having you on, man. Hope to see you this April coming up.
Yeah, looking forward to it.
Yeah, man, it was a real treat. Absolute pleasure, man. I appreciate you just answering all the out there questions we have, and I could listen for another 2.5 hours. But just thanks a lot, and I appreciate all the info, and I hope to hear from you more.
Jonathan.
Woo. Thanks for having. Thanks for everything tonight. I'm chilling.
I think John just did something when the camera wasn't on him. But yeah, thank you everybody for tuning in. Thank you for all the super chats, and be sure to like and subscribe. It's a free and easy way to support the channel. Subscriptions go a long way. Liking the video goes a long way. Leaving comments goes a long way to help the algorithm promote the show. So do your part. We appreciate it. And with that, we will say good night.
Later, guys.
Peace.
Peace.